Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey, this is Malik Mayfield, the official cheer captain of professional wrestling, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
What happened to you?
2 weeks I've been out, and I can't even hit a hello.
Oh, my goodness. It's like we're never, ever, ever getting back together.
Was it tonight? Is Sir Ethan at the concert right now?
Sir Ethan is at the concert. By the way, welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mark DeMark. That's Sir Michael Jenks. We're talking about my son at Taylor Swift concert at Acrisure Stadium Friday night as you're listening to Saturday. So we got that out of the way. Yes, they have officially gotten into Acrisure Stadium. He's about a row away from our season tickets, essentially, so I know exactly where he's sitting.
Nice.
And he already sent us a video of him happy crying.
That's amazing.
He is, listen, this kid is going fucking apeshit so far. Like he's probably going to call his mother during this whole podcast, sing to her, da-da-da-da-da. I hope I get to see pictures, but I told him, I said, this is your day that you've been ready for 8 freaking months. Live your best life, take pictures, make memories, but don't stay on the phone the whole time. Yep. Make it mental images, and you and your friends just be stupid. And I mean stupid in a good way, enjoy yourself. Yep. Downfall is he might get half of a nice concert, half of a rain concert, because fucking monsoon season in Pennsylvania.
But the one thing he can bank on, she'll play through it. She played through the rainstorm, what was it, in Philly, I think it was, a couple weeks ago, wherever it was. In Nashville, yeah. She'll play through it, so he's at least going to get the show.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. Oh, man.
I'm jealous. I really am jealous. I would have loved to gone, but you've heard my debacle about ordering tickets a couple months ago about something else, so.
Yeah. I'm a little jealous, too, that he's going. I never got close to getting tickets, but, thought about it for the girlfriend and whatnot, but he got them. And these are the $700 ones or $600 ones? Yep.
Which, if he decided today that he didn't want to go and he could have sold them on Vivid or something, he would have, tripled his money.
Oh, I believe that, because people were paying arm and a leg for him. Yeah.
But this is his thing. Like I said, at one point we thought we were going to drive him down. He didn't want mom and dad to go. He just wanted the group, and because the group's elder parents are in and around the area, they're not at the concert with them. Ethan's the baby at 16 going. Yeah. I'll put it that way. The rest of them are all a little bit older going da-da-da-da-da. You know how dad is, overprotective sometimes. I said, listen, well, I'll stand outside the stadium. And I didn't know this. This is all before I've seen videos of 90,000 people standing outside stadiums all over the United States. I said, I'll just sit outside the stadium, grab a beer from whatever, and just listen to the concert. You've seen the videos. There's a concert outside.
Oh, yeah. It's basically you're tailgating, watching the concert outside somehow. They have a screen set up, or it's just perfectly angled. Now, Acrisure, that's not going to work, but they probably have screens outside for anybody out there. So
they'd be stupid not to. Throw some vendors out there.
Well, even Stage AE's right down the street from there. Throw up a big screen there, just have a watch party, sell to your heart's content. Although, I don't know, maybe they have something going on there as well. But Hey, you do a watch party for Tay-Tay? You're
Right.
making bank.
Bank.
You
Yeah.
bank in
Just to
Pittsburgh.
get into a watch party was probably going to be $100.
Exactly. $100 for that
Outside the watch party singing to the watch party.
party. And the way Stage AE is, you can kind of see a screen. So if they were to drop the screen, do it that way, then they have it. But, oh man. It's gotta be massively nuts down on North Shore right now in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah. The wife told me in both concerts probably about, I don't know, 150,000.
Yeah. With 70,000 a piece and then going for it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Good. It's unreal.
Do you?
Do you enjoy it? Man, it just takes me back to when I went to Foo Fighters and you just live in the moment. And even though that was when Dave Grohl broke his leg, so he was on a throne of guitars, it was still a moment sending. You didn't take any pictures. You took beginning, you took at the end, but you just sat there and you sang your heart out and couldn't talk for a week afterwards. And well, it was shitty RFK Stadium, so you can imagine how that was.
Oh.
That place was.
Did you fall off the bleachers or anything?
No, but I've never seen so much running water in a stadium before. Going there. There's flooding. Nothing worked. It was shitty stadium. Great concert, but shitty stadium. Absolute trash. So.
Before we get into our to-dos, I watched something literally about half an hour prior to us recording. It's on the YouTube. Minor League Baseball's best, worst, and weirdest stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't rank them, essentially. They just said these are really good stadiums. And there's a handful across the board that I was at. They put Altoona, and I don't know if you've been to Altoona, as a weird stadium because they have the roller coaster out in right field.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it weird.
It is probably one of the best stadiums definitely in the Eastern League. I've been to a lot, but in minor league.
Yeah. I haven't been to Altoona's, but I can't imagine a roller coaster in the outfield is that strange or that weird. Like,
right. I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I essentially watched it to see if the UT, whatever let's call it anymore, if the UT was actually on it, and it did not make the good, the bad, or the ugly. So
surprising. Well, I mean, now I don't know how true it is, but I remember hearing way back when the UT was supposed to be on the Bayfront at one point. Like the designs were calling for it to be on the Bayfront. Yeah. And it was designed that way so that you would have it sitting on the water. Now that would make it a beautiful, good stadium. But plans changed, and then it's stuck in the middle of downtown, kind of just butt up against the Civic Center, and now you don't really have much of a view. So plans changed, but man, if that was
Brannigan's from the outfield,
you could. You're right. Well, that closed now, so that's done. So now you just see a bunch of empty buildings and a wall.
Great. So we apologize. Last week, a lot came up.
Yeah.
My schedule, Jenks' schedule, just boom. And we thought, and then the shit just couldn't come together. So that's why we carried over to Ask Can Crushers. A couple more trickled in. Well, a lot trickled in. But a couple more good ones trickled in, and then this shit show that we're going to play to you over 2 weeks is it's going to be there. So
it's highly questionable at this point whether this is good, bad, and ugly. This might be our own good, bad, and ugly list when this thing's done.
Yes. Yes. So how was your 2 weeks, my friend?
Busy, jam-packed, work, events. Shout out to the step-niece who graduated from high school last week.
This is where I should have one of those buttons.
Yeah. Proud of her, getting through high school and that. So she's getting her life together, figuring out what she wants to do next. So baby steps there. Taking care of mom. She's recovering nice and well. She's doing great right now.
She ready for a marathon yet?
No, but she's trying to be. So this woman, nobody can keep this woman down. She was at my sister's house for a couple of days, just kept doing stairs and everything, and miracle Saturday, she's like, I hurt. Well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
Rocky Balboa, calm the fuck down and just sit down. So we did not tell my mother that. Don't worry about it. Don't send in the nastygrams. But
awesome.
Well, she hears us cuss, so she's probably immune to it by now. But we spent that week after surgery with her, just helping her recover. If anything, I teleworked. My sister teleworked. We kind of shifted off and off. So somebody was there with her every day. But she's been doing good, getting around, so can't complain too much. Everybody's healthy and happy right now, so moving forward. How was your 2 weeks?
The same. Busy. Literally busy. And fighting with high ground, because Powers of B did not put me on the poster.
You gotta renegotiate now.
Gotta happen.
You're the star player, so you gotta hold out. I don't know if it's OTAs
or going in July.
Yeah, I guess you don't show up. Maybe even if you have to show up, just don't do the ring. Just sit there. Wait for it to be
outside and just protest.
Yeah, exactly. Or sit inside in a folding chair and just watch.
In the ring.
Let them raise. Exactly. Take over the show. That's it. The sit-in. It worked for Daniel Bryan. It'll work for you.
That's a great idea. I like your idea better.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to get you there. It might get me banned from the building, but I will get you what you deserve, which is front and center on these posters.
Right.
So
blasphemy. So High Ground was an amazing show, by the way, folks. An amazing effing show. So much happening in High Ground right now. If you're not there, you are square. PIAA baseball is done.
Yay.
We had essentially 2 local teams within an hour playing the PIAA championship. So we covered the game. Can't say congratulations to one without saying sorry about your bad luck on this one. But, it's pretty crazy that 2 D9 teams in single A played for the state championship.
Yeah.
And they play regularly during the year. Awesome. Completely awesome. So kudos to Clarion and Dubois Central. I'll give you that. Recorded a ton of interviews because July is kind of crazy for wrestlers. So I got a lot in the hopper. If you have not listened to last Wednesday's Can Crusher Spotlight with Bobby Blaze, holy Christ. Grab some Line and Kugel's Juicy Peach, sit down and listen, because it may be. I said this recently about a couple other ones. This just took over for me. I may pick, how I'm generic and I say, I love doing all my interviews.
Yeah.
This one is a step above. It was just fucking Bobby Blaze. Awesome.
That's a strong statement. Getting you to pick a Can Crusher's favorite is very, very hard. So this is a bold statement. Now, will this carry over, though?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We're going to have to.
And then Legion Baseball started. So, throwing in some of the teams that had to have delays because other teams were in that they're going to play, So they jam-packed like 5 games into 1 week for Legion. And, now that I'm on the board, sometimes I'm game manager, so I have to be there until 10, 11 o'clock at night finishing off a game, which makes for a rough day in the afternoon or early morning. Sleep's been on and off. That's why today is a Line and Kugel's Juicy Peach type of podcast. I will go to sleep directly after the podcast.
I was going to say, that's going to get you right through the night.
Graduation parties and all that. It's good.
Yeah.
I know now, though, it's going to wean down a little bit, which is nice. I'm okay with taking essentially a couple months off and not do anything besides the podcast. It may be a Legion game once, possibly, because they don't jam-pack a ton of them, once, possibly twice a week. So compared to 8 days a week.
8 days a week. There you go.
See, so we got Tay-Tay and we got the Beatles in.
All right, so now, is this going to be another musical one? Because I need to get my puns up and ready to go.
No.
I don't want to shake it off if we're going to go down that route.
We're not doing 22 songs, that's for sure.
Well, then wake me up before you go.
All right, before we get into anything else. since we didn't record last week, we have to do this. We lost a legend. And, you guys, we always talk about somebody. You guys know we're talking about the Iron Sheik. You see the picture in the thumbnail. Mm-hmm. Sad, not in horrible health the last time I saw him, like 2 years ago, and I didn't hear a lot or anything. But this was you're going to say something, and I'm going to say something, and people are going to be like, oh, you guys are assholes. This motherfucker, he'll appreciate this, made me hate him. This is my biggest villain in the history of wrestling. He was such an asshole. You loved him so much. And this is all out of love and respect, guys. Don't come at us. You know what we're talking. You just hated him because Iran, number one, Russia, number one, America, hawk, pooey. This is my childhood. He's spitting on America. He's spitting on Hulkamania. He's hating on Sergeant Slaughter. And then he gets Sergeant fucking Slaughter, who is Mr. USA, not Tony Atlas, but Mr. USA, Sergeant Slaughter, to change his ways during the Iraq War, and you're just like, oh my God. Plus, I don't give two shits. Forever, he had the greatest wrestling boots, and nobody will ever touch them.
Those fucking, the horn hook, whatever you want to call them, those were the greatest wrestling boots. But you're absolutely right. That was the first experience in my young life of watching Sergeant Slaughter turn and feeling betrayed and just feeling absolute disdain, feeling that patriotism run through my 3-year-old bones at that point. But I remember that distinctly. Iron Sheik was the perfect heel one of the perfect heels to grace the ring, because he knew what buttons to push, and he knew how to take it to the limit, whether it was shooting on Hulk Hogan and just shitting on him all the time. And I mean, I completely agree with him saying, fuck you, Hulk Hogan, all the time. But it's, from that to Slaughter, he was just the guy you loved to hate. And anytime you saw him on screen, you automatically booed, you felt the test, you wanted to punch your screen. He was perfect at what he did. My other fondest memory may not be his fondest memory or anybody else's fondest memory, but it was the gimmick battle royal when he came out.
Yes.
And won that son of a bitch because he couldn't go over the top rope, but it was fantastic. It was still
the only reason why he won.
That's the only reason why he won, is because he couldn't go over the top rope. They had to change the finish in the back. But I remember that distinctly, and I'm like, motherfucker, Sheik won? Sheiky Baby won? How did they let Sheiky Baby win? That was underrated part of WrestleMania 17. I'll leave it at that. But, the Iron Sheik, I grew to really admire. The Twitter account over the past several years has just been my favorite piece of, probably one of the main reasons I was still on Twitter and still am,
right,
is because of that. But, it's just sad. It was sad. It's sad we've kind of reached this point where we're going to see our childhood heroes, villains, everything start to go away. And it started for me with Dusty and Piper back in 2015, and it's going slowly but surely. We're going through that list, but cheers to Iron Sheik, Sheiky Baby, and rest in peace.
I will say this: we don't have in wrestling today, or at least not mainstream. Maybe in the indies, there's somebody, but we don't have that anti-American heel that is just fucking despised and not decimated. That's not the word. The other word that starts with the D. Not disliked. Whatever. Despised. Let's just stick with despised, Mark. Like the Iron Sheik. Because, listen, everybody likes Jinder. Jinder could have been that guy. But he played that role, so he got into 3-man band, So Iron Sheik was the Iron Sheik the whole way through.
Yeah.
He was, legit over, just fucking hated America, did a wonderful job. I don't think you get that anymore. I really don't. And that's what hurts wrestling in my book, that you don't get anybody like that, because there's always, listen, the worst person right now is MJF, and we'll get to all of wrestling, this week's wrestling in segment 3. Yeah. But the worst person is MJF. But we love him.
Yeah. We don't hate him. We love him. That's right. MJF is the equivalent of what Ric Flair was to his generation. Right. We love to hate him. We hated him, but we loved him when he was on screen because of his antics, because of his shenanigans and that. There hasn't been an Iron Sheik since the Iron Sheik came through here. Now, you could argue there's been many people that have tried, and probably the one that had the most steam fell apart because of some really bad choices made on the part of creative with some of his character was Muhammad Hassan back in 2005. And a bad choice with bad imagery took him down real quick. And now, hey, he's successfully a principal in a school in America here, so congratulations to him. But he might have been the closest thing that we had to that, because he played that role pretty damn well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we just never got to that place. It always felt like somebody playing that they hated America, from the Un-Americans to La Resistance to Team Canada to whatever you want to list. Ginder's new group.
Paper company.
Dunder Mifflin Indras or whatever. You know, it always, they just don't have the same appeal with the same visceral hate that it's causing us to have. So.
Yeah. So once again, we raise our beers. Iron Sheik, rest in peace. We love you, Sheiky baby.
Love you, Sheiky baby.
So, hot topics. My hot topic is I pulled the trigger today.
Oh no! What did you do? Just pulling the Narn, just shooting things left and right.
AEW Fight for Forever pre-ordered the Super Mega Elite package, and I do have the 30th off. So that night of recording, this is kicking in already, we will be playing and talking wrestling, doing a hell of a recap of Forbidden Door as we play Fight for Forever. You guys may not see us play Fight for Forever, but we will be playing it, throwing a lot of whatever in. I am super excited for this now. Listen, I am still watching clips of shenanigans that they're showing. They're leaking the right stuff that when the first wrestling game ever came out for Nintendo, this is me all over again. This is my, when did Nintendo 85, the wrestling game maybe came out in 86 or whatever. I am 9 again right now, ready for this game. And I have yet, honestly, Jenks, I've seen that they've leaked some of the side games or mini games, whatever. I haven't watched those yet because I'm still watching people. That last one I sent you of the 4-way match of fucking bombs and yes,
this
is a wrestling game that we've wanted.
Oh yeah,
anarchy, craziness, smash button, go at it.
Not serious, doesn't take itself too seriously, just like, you know what, have fun with their likenesses and just blow the shit up. I saw the side game release, have not looked at it yet. I think that's tonight, is I want to see what these side games, these mini games that I'm hearing multiple people talk about. I gotta see what these are. Like, what are the mini games? What are their purpose? And that's the other thing, is what is the purpose of these mini games for them?
Yeah, are you going to get some type of like XI or AP or what? I don't know all the wording in it. Are you going to get some type of coins that you can use to buy something in the game?
Is there going to be, for No Mercy fans, a SmackDown Mall where you can buy random shit like a tire, moves, a hoe for $500,000? What can you buy in there? What can you buy? So you're getting coins and all this stuff. I'm interested to see what these mini games are and what they can be used for, what the purpose of. Because if they don't serve a purpose, then what's the purpose of having them? But if they start giving you coin and start dragging you in, I'm going to be playing. We're going to be here for a while. I'm not going to be nobody's going to hear from me for the month of July at that point.
Touche.
I as well. I haven't pre-ordered yet, but I have taken the 30th off in anticipation for this game. There's also a sentimental thing, seeing the girlfriend before she leaves on vacation, but I'm spending the night with her the 29th and the 30th, and then I'm playing this game once I come home on the 30th and through the night with Mark. It's going to be fun.
Maybe, and this is, I already know I was going to do this. For people that, listen, we're not bragging, we're not doing anything. If you can't get it the day it comes out or whatever, and you listen to the show, and you don't like the doctored up versions of everybody doing stuff, before we record the show, I'm probably going to play some matches and throw them on the YouTube that I know has been stagnant for a year now or whatever. Well, listen, there's just so much shit going on. We said we were probably going to go to YouTube a little bit too. It takes me 2 fucking hours to edit the audio part of this sometimes. I can only imagine now throwing, and it wouldn't be out the same day, and so nonetheless, you'll at least hear me or watch me play games. I'll throw that up like I did once in a while, maybe big men slapping meat or whatever the hell. Yes, all of that. So if you want to see generic real gameplay on the 30th, head over to the page, and then I'll throw up some matches so you can see like what's going on and listen to me fucking be nine all over. This is
commentary alone. Yeah.
This is a month ago we were boycotting it like the 8th.
Yeah. Now we're reverse boycotting it. Except we really want to play this, and we don't want.
Yeah, we don't want to sell it or anything.
We don't want to sell it or anything. We want this game now. It's wild to me how much this has changed in a month. But we said this when they first started releasing the footage and everything. We're like, God fucking damn it, they got us. Hook, line, sinker, they got us. We didn't care. We lost faith in it. We didn't think it was coming out. And now we're hook, line, sinker, bought in because we can ride a skateboard, fucking set things on fire, shoot people out of.
If you haven't seen some of this stuff, you can throw. What are they? What you do your grill? What is that stuff? Propane tanks.
Propane tanks, yeah.
Moxley was the one throwing them around in the match that I saw. Just fucking pop, 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 pop. And Darby Allin and Chris Statlander fought on skateboards.
Skateboards, tacks, I think were involved. Everything under the sun you can think of is involved in this game. And
it's lunacy, folks.
It's anarchy in the fucking arena. And that was the point, I think.
And they got us.
Yep.
So that's my big news. Do you have anything? I think we're both ready. We want to get to Ask Can Crushers, but do you have anything?
Do. Nothing. I guess the only thing I'll mention briefly, not to bring down the mood, but we'll bring it down to bring it back up with whatever lunacy's coming in Ask Can Crushers. Punk's comeback tonight, but apparently there's going to be a well-timed ESPN interview that's going to derail every fucking thing. So
super excited about that.
I knew as soon as I saw that, I think it was Thursday night, I'm like, that's dropping Saturday for sure. There's no way that's not dropping before Collision. So
yeah, they're not gonna bone Rampage, because if they throw this out prior to last night, and you guys now know or whatever, Rampage would just get blown up.
Yeah,
whatever. This is coming out like noon today as you're listening to this.
Yes, it's coming out right before Collision. It's trying to tank Collision, but I guess we'll see what it is. He besmirches Adam Page, but I guess he did apologize to the Young Bucks and them. So to each their own. But
are you watching Collision live?
That is my plan.
Mine is too. I will. Sorry, Galbo, if you're listening to this, I will leave that graduation party by time to get back home for Collision.
I mean, I have a birthday party at 3:00 in the afternoon. I should be home well before 8:00. Girlfriend's going with me, obviously, to that, but she's going to go home right after that. So,
you have her kind of weaned into wrestling. This should be a monumental thing that she should watch.
There should be. There's nobody to take care of her dog. Her dog's very tiny. He doesn't have a good bladder, so we have to play the game. So
I don't have a good bladder either.
But you can hold it. He doesn't. So we got to play a game here. So
I pee outside. Listen, Collar and elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have. Use our promo code Jenks. What's the promo code?
It's Can Crushers. Get 10% off at the wonderful site.
There you go. How can you listen to us?
Oh, let's see. Bailey, what do you think? Since she's on my leg right now with her head on it. Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, you name it, you've got it. Maybe there's going to be a wrestling one at some point in time. Who knows? Maybe it'll be on there at some point. Just JK, and I don't know if there will be a wrestling.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just rambling right now as my dog comes into frame here. You know, I was trying to get excited, hyping it up.
And, you know, we also post everything on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us there. If you'd like to be part of the show, ask questions like these lovely people here in the next segment did, slide into our DMs or send us an email at cancrusher69@gmail.com. Or you can call the phone number, which is posted on all our sites, too, because I still don't have it memorized.
814-299-6687.
Look at you!
I know.
Fucking Johnny Homework.
Hey, I know what I'm doing here sometimes.
That's because you gave it to somebody. And you'll find out who.
I did.
Find out who.
First of all, I took a screenshot of the post for Cane Crushers and sent it over, so.
Yeah, we have a lot of great guests, and we have a lot of great questions from you guys, and then other people come on the show as well. So, here comes Al to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. And then we'll be back because we've been waiting 2 weeks for Ask Can Crushers, and we're fucking ready to go.
Let's do it.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Tune in for a tune-up. You're listening to Can Crushers with Amber Nova.
Welcome back to Can Crushers. It's Mark. It's Jenks. This is our... Listen, we're not lying here. This is... See, Bailey knows I'm not lying.
Hype train is here.
This is our favorite segment that we do of our weekend show. We fucking love this because we just answer questions. You guys bring us shit. It's great every time. It's unbelievable, except some of the ones that we got on the phone. So, but I would be remiss, by the way, to not tell everybody about this. I bought this when I went to New Jersey with the English professor. It is called the Phil Singer Games. It's a Legends of Wrestling card and dice game. It's kind of, I guess if you want to go Dungeons and Dragons-esque or whatever, because a lot of people think of that when you're rolling dice and got cards and everything.
Yep.
We were going to play it the night that we bought it in New Jersey. We decided to drink that night instead. So that was a win-win. So me and the English professor have not got to play it together. But I have convinced somebody else in this house, like only Jenks saw that, by the way, in this house that doesn't mind playing it. So we've played a couple times, and I've ordered more packs and everything. It's unbelievable. It is so much goddamn fun. And I'll show you some of the artwork. Jenks, like Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, wow.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Britt.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Chelsea.
Oh, my God.
And on the back, it gives you, you roll this, you have to do this, da-da-da-da. And I also have, these are the women's packs because I had to buy those. But there's tag teams, there's 80s, there's way, way back ones. There's specialty matches you can do. So if you're looking for something like that and you want to take, and I never thought I'd say this, time off of video games and you want to play something fun, it is Phil Singer Games presents the Legends of Wrestling. They have a Facebook, they have a website, There's a starter pack that you get just some in it. I think the sum was like 8 cards, whatever. Just check it out. And even if you just get the starter pack for a while and play with it, it's awesome. But I spent shitload the first day I bought it, and I spent a shitload or more getting expansion packs. I could put on a full WrestleMania right now. A great WrestleMania.
Okay.
From the Era Store all over the place. Check it out. It's fun. I never thought Kel would like it. She fucking loves it. So, yeah. All right, let's get in. It's time. It's time. It's Ask Can Crusher time.
Ugh.
We're going to go nice and sentimental first. I did notice this one. God love your parents first and foremost. Because the parents have to know how much of truckers we are. Hi, my name is Reese and I'm 12 years old.
Hey, Reese.
Corrupting kids already. And I really like wrestling. I want to know what your favorite move is. Mine is the 450 splash. All right. This is a great question. Because we don't talk about this. We don't talk about moves a lot.
We don't. Before the past, I would say overall, my ultimate move was, I think it's the RKO because it can literally come out of nowhere. Now, I was a big Canadian Destroyer fan, but they have obviously used that in every other match now, so that kind of distinguishes it. But I like the RKO. Just out of nowhere, can be a complete surprise, and I always pop for it. So I think I'm going to go with that off the top of my head.
It's funny you say that, because I'm going to do, and listen to roughly, I'm going to get heat. They're roughly the same thing. I was a big Stunner fan back in the day.
That was two. I literally was debating Stunner in that, but yeah.
Are they not roughly the same thing?
They're roughly the same.
Concept.
Yep, same concept.
And you can do, it's just a quick kick and then boom, or a grab and a boom. A Stunner was one of my favorite things, high school era, this, that, or the other. Reese, I've never been a big submission type of guy. I did it to kids. I would always put figure four on somebody.
Figure four, sharpshooter, crossface.
but as a watching it, I don't, I guess I'll have to stick. I also really like the belly. It's a simple move, but Magnum and Bailey could put, now it's not even a great move anymore. Like Bailey barely uses it anymore. But, and I think that's nostalgia because, by the way, because Magnum TA to my mom, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
By the way, sidebar, if you have not watched any of the Dark Sides on Vice right now, I fucking love this season already. Between Chris and Tammy, Magnum, and what was the one this week?
Was it Eddie Graham this week?
Yeah.
I think it was the story of the Grahams, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really super excited about next week's Doink as well. About Matt Bourne. But yeah, they've been, listen, Dark Side of the Ring, man. And I actually started watching some of the other ones, Dark Side of the Comic and Dark Side of the NFL. By the way, Jenks, I forgot to tell you this. I pulled the plug on YouTube TV.
Oh, yeah?
Wasn't getting enough baseball, wasn't getting Vice. Now I have access, by the way, as well. I went to direct streaming.
Oh, did you? Okay.
TV, yeah, so I don't have to have shit on my house anymore or whatever. It just streams right in. Plus, I get the MLB Network back. And this is, Reese, I apologize. We'll get right back to you in a minute. And Kelly gets her Destination America back where, hey, we're going to go buy an island for $8 million. Which island do you want to buy? Or which house in Montana do you want to buy? Yeah. And we're sitting here like, holy Christ, our house is worth dog shit.
I wish I had log cabin walls.
Right? I wish I could walk out and catch a swordfish with my hands.
I wish I could see a bear on my deck.
Reese and Reese's parents, we apologize for potty mouthing it, but parents, if you will love us for that, awesome. But Reese, thank you for sending in the questions. Yeah. Continue listening, buddy. That's awesome. So 450 Splash is pretty awesome.
I love the 450 Splash. Yeah, that's probably my favorite aerial move, I think. Outside a moonsault would be up there too, depending on how well it can be hit.
Mine would
Chad Gable, beautiful. What do you got?
Spanish Fly. Sammy
Spanish Fly. Yeah, that's hot. That's good.
Yeah.
Even the standing one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next question. This comes in from Doug. Nobody put where they're from this time, and I'm thoroughly disappointed. So maybe...
Well, they know better now.
Or it's maybe new listeners or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Hi, Mark and Sir Jenks. Oh, so you get proper, I just get Mark. Okay. All right.
Let's move up in this world.
Ask Can Crushers is a great concept. By the way, if you are a new listener, I literally copy and paste these, so I don't know what the fuck I'm reading half the time. And you can ask Jenks this.
That's true.
Real life. Ask Can Crushers is a great concept. I wish more podcasts would do a show like this. Oh, cool. Thanks. I just discovered Can Crushers recently. See, that's why Doug doesn't know where the bucket's from. My question is, music has been tied with professional wrestling forever. What are some of your favorite all-time themes? We've been down this path before. Holy shit. I like when they use popular songs back in the late 80s and early 90s. Sorry, so Doug's probably our age, roundabout, I'm saying. Doug, sorry if you, whatever. But essentially Doug's saying, what are some of our favorite theme songs? So do we want to go, I can't go like top 3. I'm going to say 3 that I like because we could be here forever. And I don't want to piggyback some of yours, so you go first and now.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3 I like. Then I want to circle back because I want to hear yours, but I want to go back to pay-per-view theme songs that I've heard to play off that popular music type thing because I want to go circle back because there's been some good pay-per-view ones, and I think anybody and their mother probably knows the one I'm going to list off when we get to there.
Well, then I'm going to bring up one song from Saturday Night's Main Event back in the day.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. So if I'm going theme songs, man, give me Stone Cold. We mentioned this song. Give me Stone Cold. I love that. That's
the Glass.
That's the Glass. You're 0 to 100 at that point. Adrenaline's pumping. Not Cody Rhodes, so I'm not going to go the adrenaline in your soul. But I would say voices in my head. Randy Orton's voices stands out to me. I'm going to also go Undertaker, the
gong,
and everything. I think those are top 3 off the top of my head. There's others like Batista's I Walk Alone. That'll get you jacked up. You know, there's other ones, but I don't want to take all of them. I'm going Mark to answer this too. So,
well, I'm going earlier.
Yeah,
I'll definitely go earlier than you. Flares.
Yeah.
The woo, and then he comes out. Any rendition, even Flair NWA to the I think the added of the woo made it even better. Honestly, when he did the transition to WWF, I'm probably doing iconic ones in my head. For me, Savages is probably, if you're gonna hold a gun to my head, Savages is number 1.
Pomp and Circumstances is universal and it's fantastic. Yeah.
And then probably there's a throwback out there right now with FTR. I love the Midnight Expresses. I really did. It was just just that. Yep. It was so simple. Don't get me wrong. I love the ones that Jenks said, and I love singing Judas, and I love the Seth Rollins. Anything you can sing along, listen to my Golden Pipes.
Yeah, 100%. And I pivot from the show once too, is go to modern times. You've listed it, Judas, Seth, all of them. Anything, Orange Cat, Jane by Jefferson Starship is just amazing. I gave a little bit of shade to Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is fantastic. Everybody loves screaming whoa, so why not? It's those ones that have those recent ones. I mean, Daniel Bryan's before AEW, the March of the Valkyries, I think it was, or whatever it is. That by far was one of the best themes during that time frame. So Mark McIntyre. But yeah, there's modern ones that I think every era has those 5 that define them.
Right.
4 or 5 or whatever it is. Man.
Let me jump in.
Yeah, go ahead, take it before I say.
I do like ECW. If Doug is saying he likes some of those that were still, it was mid '90s. You have Walk by Pantera. You have Tommy Dreamer was fucking upstairs a couple months ago, and I didn't even know it. Man in the Box.
Enter Sandman with Sandman. That was iconic at that point. Those 3 songs alone were iconic. One of a Kind by Van Damme, underrated banger as well. 2 that don't get talked about enough that I need to circle back that are obscure. The Undertaker's You're Gonna Pay theme song from late American Badass era. And I loved, and this is probably going to get me hate, but I love Eric Bischoff's theme song. So if you don't know what that one it is, oh shit, now I lost it. But it's I'm back, I'm better than back, I'm better than ever. Yeah.
If we're gonna go down those ones that are gonna get me in trouble, then I love the stupid ones off of Pile Driver, the album, like Girls in Cars.
Yeah.
Or Jive Soul Bro. I mean, those were. Listen, it's a different era, so don't cancel us because of that.
Yeah.
But those were so on point, poignant. Slick calling himself a Jive Soul Bro, singing a goddamn song. Yes, Doug, music has been linked hand in hand, but I know you want to go to. I'll throw the one Saturday night main event out real quick. And
do it.
What did we do? And don't give me the song. What did we do after Seawolves games where everybody had tennis balls?
Baseball golf, right?
No,
yeah.
launch ball.
Launch ball. Okay, yeah. I didn't know if you meant after Seawolves games or after Seawolves games.
Seawolves games.
But okay, I know where you're going with that.
So this song kind of is twofold for me. I link Hit Me With Your Best Shot to Seawolves, but I also link Hit Me With Your Best Shot when Duggan hit Andre with his 2x4 and got him to kind of tumble out of the ring. That was, and then they would play that all the time on Saturday Night's Main Event as they were leaving, that song or something. So, yeah, so Hit Me With the Best Shot. But go ahead. Now I
love that one.
Great question, Doug, by the way.
Fantastic question. Also, fantastic album that I think people forgot about. The Anthology album with 3 discs. Got it on my iTunes playlist, so I have it on my phone to go. Oh, it's fantastic. I love playing that. But I got to give props to Saliva in their heyday, early 2000s, with some of the pay-per-view themes. Always. Survival of the Sickest, Ladies and Gentlemen.
Those were all sickness.
Yeah, Disturbed. Disturbed. Yeah, but that one too. Those were all heavy hitting. They were all fantastic, and the video packages for them were just spot on. But I'd be remiss not to name the King video package of all of these. When you talk, probably the best WrestleMania there's ever been. The main event, Stone Cold Rock 2, My Way. Limp Bizkit, the only big claim to fame for Limp Bizkit outside of the Undertaker's theme song, is My Way, or that whole package. That 3 minutes
was
is
it Nookie?
No, it wasn't Nookie, for God's sakes, no. Not Nookie, not whatever else they fucking came out with, but they hit that every time that pops up. And it's probably one of the most overused videos that I've seen on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. But I will stop and watch that bar none, because if that doesn't get you going, nothing will. So,
one more story that just rolled into my head because I'm a mark for wrestling, and I want to make everybody a mark for wrestling. So besides scoreboard and stat keeping and all of that, I have to run the music for Legion Baseball in this area. What else gets you pumped up than music? So I have, some of this, some of that. Some kids asked for some songs. The first song when the game was the other day, I plugged in, boom, Kingdom. Those fucking kids out there were doing the whoa instantly. So they're also wrestling fans as well. It wasn't like, what is this song? What they knew it was coming up. The first song I played was Cody Rhodes' theme song. Boom. So I've trickled some more wrestling songs in there now. So Jane is now in there as well. So yeah, Doug, this could be a whole show within itself. Amazing question. I would like to know, Doug, I would like to know some of yours. I know you said you like some of the late 80s, early 90s, but what are some of your favorite ones? So send some stuff in. All right, this is from Preston. What? Idiot. Who do you think is the greatest technical wrestler ever? Preston. Oof. This is very subjective.
Very subjective. I think it's also probably easy for me because I'd say Bret Hart without missing a beat. But again, it is subjective because if you go, there's been so many great technical wrestlers that are still going today. I'm a Hart boy, so I got to go Bret Hart. But my God, there's so many great ones out there.
I love Bret Hart. I do. I love Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Dean Malenko.
Who's always forgotten about.
Right?
And that's sad.
Me, Dean Malenko pops Mr. Technician. So my answer, we're forgetting about people way before we're born, though.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you could throw anybody from Bruno to Rick to whatever you want to do in there. Pops into my head. I go to I'm fully Bret Hart, but Dean Malenko is one of those ones that is always missed, always not brought up enough. He's the man of 1,000 holds, not some knockoff 1,004 hold list, but 1,000 holds. So Dean Malenko, 100% agree with that.
Agreed. All right, let's go to the phone lines as we'll play this one.
Hey guys, this is Larry. I was wondering if you guys had an opinion on who you think the most underrated wrestler in WWE history or professional wrestling in general might be. Maybe somebody who never got his due. Perhaps somebody who never got the title shot that he should have. Somebody who never had the World Championship reign that he deserved. So I don't know. I just didn't know if there was one guy who perhaps stood out to you guys that you feel maybe is a little bit under the radar and should be held in higher regard than perhaps he is. So yeah, interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
There's music. Larry has set up music behind maybe.
I saw that. I couldn't tell if that was a wrestler's theme song or that was Mary Had a Little Lamb or Pop Goes the Weasel. What was going on back there? Great question, Larry. I don't know if my answer is quite as golden as you might think it would be, but what I would say is in WWE history, and I think it's because he just wasn't utilized. They didn't like him a lot.
You have to dust something off, probably, right?
I got to dust it off. Back in this time frame, he had great rivalries with a lot of some dusty guys at that point, some not so dusty guys, some golden boys, if you will, and Shawn Michaels and that. But I got to go underrated in WWE. I'm going Vader's time in WWE as underrated. I think he wasn't given the shots that he needed to, and there was a lot of politicking behind that in that time frame. So I think Vader got underrated. I also believe that you see some of the guys like Evan Bourne were kind of underrated in their time period too for what they would do. Evan Bourne was before Matt Sydal was before WWE took to that smaller style. So I think he was dramatically underrated in what he was doing. He could have been a big star in WWE, but he was just maybe 5 years too soon. So
right. if he was Evan Bourne in AEW now, not Matt Sydal falling top rope, I think he would have ran away with it.
He's Mr. Popularity at that point.
Right.
So
there's fucking fly in here again. God damn it. So we're going underrated. And this always pops up for me. Like, I'll name two, but I don't think they were underrated. Like, you have Roddy and Jake.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they weren't underrated.
They
just didn't need a title.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe I want to go, like, I'm going to go way back. Big John Studd would have been cool to have a title. Or, I know Rick Rude had the IC title, but he had physique. Like, I would have thought Rude could have been pushed to that the upper echelon.
Physique, charisma, he had everything. Rude should have been pushed. But I think it also goes back to all of us. There's an underlying theme with a lot of these guys, and it's politics prevented them from getting farther. I mean, Big John Studd, it was Andre. You know, Vader, it was Shawn Michaels, the Clique, everything about that. Rude, I think they never saw him as that big piece outside of being a heel, but there was also many heels ahead of him that were kind of blocking him from growing and being that top guy, that top heel. And you could even look at Sydal may have made some decisions. They were some questionable decisions at the time by WWE standards, so that kind of prevented him from growing. I think a lot of the guys that we find underrated were just stunted from one way or another. It was politicking, or they were prevented from getting higher than they actually should have been. And they just didn't fall into the right circles sometimes. So underrated in terms of Vince McMahon and that company, 100%.
So Larry, thanks for trying to get us to say Goldust.
But
we didn't, though.
No, we didn't bite on that Dusty.
Yeah, that Dusty record. All right, let's go back to the mailbag. As, hi guys, like the show. I'm a new listener because of High Ground. Hey, yeah!
Nice.
Wait to meet you guys at an event. Well, I should be on the fucking event poster. I would like to know some of your favorite champions of all times. Not the ones that you think are the best, but your personal favorites. Some of mine are KO, Sasha, R-Truth, and of course Roman. Thanks, guys. Isaac. So, Isaac, why didn't you come up to say hi to me? Maybe you weren't at the last event, but hey, in August, come out.
Isaac, take a chair, go right for the back. Do it. Just take him out. You're welcome. We gotta get you a heel heat or something, Mark. We gotta get you sympathy so you get on this poster.
Oh yeah, that's great call.
Yeah, see, I know what I'm doing. I'm not putting out a hit.
All right, so go ahead. I like you going first because I always read them.
No, that's fair. Champion wise. Oh, great question. I mean, you could go to your Stone Colds, the Rocks, whatever. I really look at Daniel Bryan, the Punks, the workhorse champions as they have come to be. I'm a big fan of Orange Cassidy right now because of him being workhorse champion. Yes, some of his finishes are not to Mark's tasting and they're kind of faulty at best, but he's their workhorse champion and he's working consistently. I love Dolph Ziggler as the workhorse IC champion doing what he needed to do to beat people. AJ, always a good champion. The list goes on and on. So I'm trying to pick more guys that had that shot or had those. Shelton, like those they're kind of underrated in terms of they have the talent. Everybody acknowledges their talent, but they weren't as popular or known as widely. So I guess I'm playing a little bit more into the last question around it, but I'm thinking about those smaller guys, Shelton and all of those guys that really carry the company on their back. They're really my favorite people because they're very talented. They're very good. Yeah, the main eventers can do it, but I like the guys that can show steal. So
I'm going to go tag team. Not because you asked or not because you cared, but because I'm going to tell you, Isaac. I'm going to go back to some of my favorites as the dream team of Valentine and Beefcake. You know, they held it a couple times, but it was quick a couple times. Or even the British Bulldogs. You know, they were hot, but I don't know if they're ever considered the greatest tag team because of both having issues, and we'll just leave it at that. Women-wise, I don't think Miss Jackie, Jacqueline, gets her comeuppance enough. She had to carry when maybe Trish and Lita weren't there, and she did what she needed to. Rolling forward, I'll throw right now, TNT champion Wardlow. I don't think he's ever going to be called the greatest TNT champion. I just think he's being booked wrong, but he's one of my favorites, and Sammy Guevara as well. So
yeah, I'll go one step on the women. I'd say Jazz as well. Jazz, she carried the load. She was one of the fiercest women, but never really got those. She was a fantastic women's champion. She was fantastic in the role she played, but sometimes, and I guess we are combining the last question with this one, she's underrated. So is Jacqueline. So is, Wardlow at times because of his booking. So, yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm sticking right now a little bit with the women. Camille's on like a 2.5-year run with that NWA.
Yeah.
But listen, and I hate to say it this way, NWA is just not visible.
Yeah.
To know that she's crushing her competition. So.
Yeah.
And Nick Aldis too. I do love Nick. So. All right, Isaac. Listen, Isaac, August show, come up and say hi. Really.
Yeah. Seriously, say hi.
Yeah.
Say an autograph. Autograph. It's going to be worth something someday.
I am the ring announcer. I have something on that you'll know who I am. So maybe we can get Sir Jenks there at some point. Donnie Bambino has actually asked for you.
Oh, really?
When you're coming. So
maybe we might need to make this work then.
You might have to make it work. Maybe we'll just throw you right a commentary then right off the bat.
Yeah, I can do it. I can pull a mean JR.
Isaac, thanks. This is from Jake. Hi, guys. When will Takeshita get the AEW title? He has become the future, and to have the belt would be great. I truly think he takes it off Kenny in a passing of the torch match. This is a great fucking question. This is leading probably, I'm going to do spoiler, maybe a year booking. That one's empty.
How many empty ones you got over there?
Just one.
Okay. You got rid of the rest.
I did.
Yeah, this is leaning into 2024 territory. I think this year we're going to see more of MJF's going to lose this probably to Darby. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Just the way things are playing over, it's going to be a headlock takeover, and that's how the title's going to get switched hands, and probably that's at Full Gear or something like that. But to that point, I think we're looking in 2024 where Takeshita can kind of come into his own. He's got a long rivalry with Kenny going on. And
that's his Flair and Steamboat rivalry.
That really is. It's exactly that. And it's going to be well over a year before they're done. I don't know if it's a passing of the torch with Kenny, though, or if Takeshita finds a way to sneak the title out somehow else. But I do believe he will get the title. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that takes it off of Darby. And he as the one to end that reign. But I think that's kind of where my head's at right now, is at least 2024 before Takeshita is fully engulfed as the big guy to get the title shot.
I also didn't see a passing of the torch. I see just a rivalry. When Kenny's 900 years old and Takeshi's only 700, they're going to do one last match, like Flair and whomever wants to or whatever. I think this is going on a long time. And it's not saying that Kenny's not going to, a la air quotes, pass the torch to somebody. I don't think it needs passed to him. I think he's got his own torch already.
I think so too. If they say wanted to force the passing of the torch issue, it's with this rivalry, not with a title involved. The torch will be passed when Takeshi ultimately defeats Kenny Omega in this rivalry. It's not going to be with the title involved. It doesn't need to be at that point.
No. All right, let's do one more from the mailbag. Can Crushers! It's all caps, by the way.
Magic.
Let's talk tag teams. Who will take the titles off of FTR and KO and Sammy? I think Bullet Club will take from FTR, and KO and Sammy, I don't see a path. Really can't wait to hear your thoughts, Drake.
FTR is going to be a younger team, in my estimation.
If you're calling it the Bullet Club of Juice and Jay, that's not happening.
If you're calling it what I think is happening, Bullet Club with the Guns, then I could see that happening. But I don't see it happening for a little bit more time. I think FTR is getting a healthy run out of this. But I would say the Guns are probably... This is their last run, and then they're going to be the guys to start putting people over even more and more. And you want to, circling back to our last question, the passing of the torch moment with the Guns is going to happen at that point. But KO and Sammy, I don't see them having it longer. Then it's not going to be that much longer. I honestly would not be surprised if it's Imperium that takes it off of them. And KO gets a whole rivalry with Gunther for a little bit of time. I could definitely see that being the case. It's not going to be pretty deadly. It's not, unless they were going to shock the world, I don't think it's pretty deadly. But I don't know. What do you think?
My thoughts are we're going to get a spin here soon with Bianca and the Street Profits.
Yeah.
They're both going heel. They'll both still be liked, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I think Street Profits, my thoughts are Street Profits probably, I think it's an established team. Not that Imperium's not established. And I just think right now, I like what you're thinking, but Gunther is the one. I don't think we're going to have a trio with all the titles anytime soon.
That's fair. I just feel like I do agree. The Street Profits would be an excellent choice for that. And I don't think they're splitting the titles. I think the path that everybody's going down, they're just going to get new belts here eventually.
Yep.
So I think my thought is if we're going down the path of Gunther KO, Gunther's going to get Imperium the tag titles for KO to be the one to beat him for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, I like that then.
So that's kind of where my thought process is, but I think this carries up until SummerSlam, which is now only a month and a half away. So it is very much in the purview that, Money in the Bank or the week after that, Imperium gets titles. KO snaps, goes after Gunther. We're going to get a Sammy KO rivalry at some point over the Intercontinental title. For Mania, exactly. And then Sammy gets his big title win moment with the Intercontinental title. But that's down the road. Yeah. That's kind of where I was thinking with Imperium.
And that's in Philadelphia when they were there, by the way.
Which is fantastic. I'm going to love every minute.
Yeah. I have to agree with you on FTR. I really think it's going to be the Guns as well. Part of the Bullet Club. So Drake may be right. I don't know what Bullet Club he's thinking, but I really don't think it's Jay and Juice. I really think, I'm not saying that tag team is going to split up as in like they're leaving each other, but Jay's got way much more in the near future. I think international title or I don't know if it's TNT title, but I think international title is something that he's going to be sniffing soon. Yeah,
I think think of Jay as the leader, Juice as the henchman of this sect, and the Guns are going to be those hired guns, for lack of better terms. I also, not to digress a little bit, but I like how they're using the Guns almost like the Outlaws were used by DX for a while in early '98, where they're not officially a member of the group, but they're kind of our hitmen. They're associated in some form or fashion. So I like how that's playing out as well with it. For a quick shout out.
I agree. Let's go back to the phone lines.
Hi, my name is Tommy. I was wondering if you thought that in the near future, perhaps WWE will debut a women's Intercontinental Championship. Let me know what you think.
So, Tommy, I think we've discussed this before a little bit, haven't we, Jenks? That maybe WWE has to get their titles that they have in line now? Correct.
Well, I mean, when you have a women's tag team title that you can't even figure out how to book that correctly, adding an IC title to the mix is just not going to work. And even to that point, you look at the 2 world titles that they have right now. Last year alone, they had a very lopsided division. Raw had the women. SmackDown didn't really have much going on. They were just cycling through people hoping for the best. So I think they need to figure out the balance between Raw and SmackDown and then figure out how they're going to best utilize the women's tag team titles going forward. And maybe that's a lengthy reign with Ronda and Shayna. I don't know. But I just don't see a secondary women's title coming into fruition anytime soon in WWE.
And I'll stir the pot, Tommy. If they're bringing in an IC title, they would get a shit ton of backlash if they didn't bring a U.S. championship for the other show.
Yep.
So, yeah, no. Not to be, Tommy, sorry to be negative Nancy's on this and wrap this one up quick, but yeah, it's not going to happen. They can't, they're renaming titles as they're creating new belts. Yeah. You know that. You saw that on.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And we'll get to that when we get to the next segment. I'm a new listener, but I love the show. Wait, I'm a new listener but love the show? No. How about you're a new listener and love the show? You guys talk wrestling and beer, 2 of my favorites. Oh, all right, yeah. We have Lion Kugel's Juicy Peach this week is what I'm drinking.
And I'm drinking a Lavery's Romolo Sponge Candy beer, which is fantastic. Got hints of chocolate in it. It's fantastic.
It looks amazing, by the way.
It's fantastic.
Besides normal answers of Stone Cold, who would you like to sit down and have a beer with from pro wrestling? Thinking of having a beer with Terry Funk would be great. What is your favorite beer, by the way? Mine is Modelo.
That Terry Funk one's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, what are you doing?
You're going to love that. I love the chaos that's going to be in there.
Dylan, by the way, Dylan,
love the chaos you could do with Terry Funk. Oh, man, have a beer with somebody not Stone Cold.
I'm going to throw in, because
go ahead.
I'm going to throw in this other caveat as well, because we saw him drinking heavily on AEW. You can't say Hangman either. Not that he drinks anymore.
No, that's fair.
I know mine right now.
Go for it.
I'll throw mine.
Go for it.
I love Tommy Dreamer. I would love to sit down, big steak and potatoes and shrimp on the side. Like, I want a whole dinner with Tommy Dreamer. I think it would be so much fun just to sit and chat with Tommy. Again, he's always heavy on my heart because everything he's gone through and his mom recently and stuff like that. But I just have this really obsessive, hanging out with Tommy Dreamer would be cool. In favorite beers, I don't know. I mean, listen, I drink a lot of shit. I really do. And I don't mean shit, Matt, is bad. Today I love Lion Kugel's Juicy Peach. But 2 favorite beers that I love to always have in my fridge is normal Boston Lager from Sam Adams and Yingling.
Those are good. 2 solid ones. You know, sitting down and have a beer with, I'm going to have to go, God, there's so many good ones. But I don't want to state the obvious ones, because I feel like the obvious ones.
You're telling me you wouldn't want to hang out with Ric Flair?
Ric Flair, Undertaker, there's so many.
That's why I went Tommy.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. The one that jumped out to me, and this is not because of Larry hinting around to it, but even though he's sober now, I do want to have a beer with 2 people, Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes, because I want to hear. There's been so much that's happened in the Rhodes family between when Dustin left to become Gold Dust.
I can't wait for that dark side, by the way.
I can't either. That's going to be one That's going to be fantastic.
That's tears.
That will be tears 100%. But the whole story with Dustin and Dusty, to their reuniting, to Cody Rhodes, seeing what his brother was doing, how it made him feel, because there's so many different perspectives in there, and hearing more stories about Dusty, you can never go wrong with.
Right.
If I could bring Dusty back, I'd have him with all of the Rhodes family. You know what I mean? And that was the other thing I was toying with too, was if you could bring one person back. Are we bringing somebody
back? Oh, then Macho Man. Or Owen.
You go Macho and Owen. I would say Dusty or Roddy, because I would love to hear Roddy Piper. You met Roddy before at a signing, but I haven't, so I would love to do that.
You're my +1 on mine, by the way.
Thank you. You're my +1 for mine, so this works out. But great question, Dylan. I think those are the guys that I would do to go off the beaten path of where you were hitting at. I think that would be such an intriguing story outside of what's put on TV. Their perspective would be just fantastic.
And before you your beer.
Yeah,
before you give your beer, listen, I'm okay sitting down with the last opener just left. Oh, Taylor's getting ready to come on.
Tay.
20 minutes until Taylor comes on.
Tay.
I'm okay sitting down with Outback Jack and fucking Hillbilly Jim too. I'll sit down with Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle is a great one. Heath Slater. He's got kids. Let's hear about his kids. Hear about everything he's done in there. Shit, 3MB or whatever the hell. We're not hindering gender.
Yeah.
We're not hindering gender. We want Heath. And Drew, obviously, he's hit so much success, so let's hear from him. Favorite beers. There's a litany. I'll keep it short and sweet. Mark went with what his standards were in the cabinet. If I'm going, I love Erie Brewing Company. Love a lot of their beers. One of my go-tos there is Railbender Ale. It's a Scottish ale. It's fantastic, nice and smooth.
Finn and Matt's too. Not that it's out there. Probably Finn and Matt's is my all-time favorite, but it's just
Southern Tier Brewing around me. Always fantastic. I love talking Pumpkin. If you listened to us last fall, that's pretty much everything I drank for
back up in
a lot. Yeah. Or in August because they release early, but excuse me. There's a lot of great breweries around where I live, but I would say Southern Tier, the Pumpkin, a lot of their selection. Give me in my beer the Railbender, or give me a solid Yingling or Summer Shandy, because I'll have those in their Founders all day. Can't go wrong with that either. So Modelo is a good one, though. That is a nice and smooth one. So
it is. My dad's selling his tap because he's essentially getting out of the tap business.
Oh, okay.
He's like, hey, do you want my tap? I'll give you it. Or what? I'm like, a tap wouldn't do anything for me. Because I think our era, me and you, we're not about having a keg in the house. Because we listen, I saw that Busch Light Peach came out today. And I'm like, I don't like Busch Light. But I want something different for us Can Crushers. Well, I walked in and I saw Line and Kugel's Peach. I'm like, I love everything that Line and Kugel's puts out, and I'm getting a peach. It's a win-win tonight. I walk in and I buy something different every time. Normal beers in my house for people that don't like randomness like me, Miller Lite across the board.
Yeah.
And if they don't, along with my Yingling and Sam, but people don't even like those sometimes. So Miller Lite across the board's always in the house for guests to come over. And then listen, that's why I can't have a keg. I don't want, and I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying I don't want a 16 of Coors Light.
Yeah.
That does nothing for me. I'm just going to drink it to get it out of here then.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but back in those eras, you only had Bud Light, Coors Light, or Miller Labatt or whatever. So a keg made sense. You might as well have a keg in your house. You can just take it, tap it, go. You don't have to buy them. But there's so much beer variety now that, like you, I'm going to the store. I'm looking for something different that I hadn't had the first time. My family, it's Yingling. They love Yingling, so we'll keep that on tap. Sometimes Mick Ultra for those that are, that just want that. But we keep things on. I'll keep some beer for them to have that, but I'm getting something special, something crazy, something different every time I go to a beer distributor. So, cake's just somewhere.
Circle back to something months later. Like Line and Kugel's is in June right now.
Yeah.
if it's still lingering at the end of August or something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get this for the hang around for a couple more weeks. I really liked it. But
let me ask this beer question, because we were going off deep end with that. Do you have a favorite time of year for beer? Mine is always fall. I always love the fall beer selection that comes out.
I love fucking beer, Jenks. So no,
I get that. I love beer too, but for me, I feel like I'm in my heyday when fall beers comes out, because that's just the sweet spot.
See,
the spices are just right.
I would probably go now because I'm more fruity. I love the peach. I love the blueberry. Stuff like the shandies. I love those.
Yeah, that's fair. No, and they're all fantastic. I love all fruity beers.
Don't get me wrong. I love your apple spice beers. I love your pumpkin beers that you talk about.
I'm bougie. I love my fall beers, but you're right. Fruity beers, they're nice, they're crisp, they're easy to drink during these hot summer days, so it makes sense.
Let's head back to the phone lines.
Oh yeah, this is the Macho Man Randy, and I have a question. That question is directed to you, Roman Reigns. Oh yeah, I see you hot dogging and grandstanding too long, Roman. And the Macho Man wants to issue you a challenge. You and me must think for the Universal United States WWE World
The title right.
Oh yeah, and when the Macho Man gets his hands on that WWF United World Heavyweight Championship, oh yeah, it'll feel so good. You won't have no Jay, you won't have no Jimmy, there won't be no bloodline to interview. What do you think?
What is going on?
You have my challenge? What do you say, Roman? You might be the tribal chief, but you ain't no Macho King. Oh yeah.
Who resurrected Macho Man for this segment?
What was? So the Macho Man called in, and it's Ask Can Crushers. But he challenged Roman Reigns.
He challenged Roman Reigns to a title that doesn't even exist. That changed, I think, four times during that call? Twice, maybe?
I have nothing to say about it.
Roman, I hope you answer.
Yeah.
I don't know how you beat a ghost, but good luck.
Roman, if you're listening, please, you call in next week, because we'll open the phone lines back open for you if you're going to answer that.
We will acknowledge you to answer that challenge.
Hi, guys. Would you ever cover Cincy wrestling? We have some great wrestlers that I watch. I would like to hear them on your show. What other indie promotions do you like? My name is Ryan. Ryan, let me tell you. Yes, that's fucking right. I'll come out to Cincinnati. Cincy, listen, this is going to be horrible. I was out in Cincinnati or around that area a year or two, maybe 2 years ago. Shauna Reed's out there. A couple other people that I've had on the show. I know the professional Jack Vaughn is essentially out in that area. But yeah, without a doubt, if you're their type of guy that wants to pass along Can Crushers, the spotlights are open. You know, boom, get them set up. I got half a year to go. We'll get them on the show, this, that, and the other. Self-promotion there for both them and us. But will we cover it? Yeah. If we can find it, we'll talk about it, what's going on and everything.
I completely agree. If we can find it to cover it, absolutely. And even get, like Mark was saying, get them on here on the spotlight. Just get the exposure out there in the Cincy area. We'd love to expand the market to going in. Mark is all in on indie wrestling. I'm just getting my baby big ass feet put into the pool of indie wrestling. But hell yeah, let's expand out. Let's see what Cincy's got to offer to go into that. But let me throw this out to you, Mark. Where is your heart of hearts set with indie wrestling when you think about it? Because I know you were big into IWC when you had Britt and Wardlow there, but now with the new promotion, High Ground and all that stuff, where's your heart lie with the indie promotions?
That's getting fired or lying. Listen, I'll put it this way. I love, and this is a generic answer, but I'll get to the means of it. I love all indie wrestling. I've talked to people in Georgia, Oklahoma, out in California, this, that, and the other. Support indie wrestling. I don't give two shits. Support it. Go watch it. You don't know who you're going to see come out of it. Did I know when I saw Britt as a backstage correspondent that she's going to be the pillar of AEW? No chance in hell did I think or recognize that. And that's not a shot on Britt.
Yeah.
Ray Lynn out of IWC, now on WOW. Saw one of Tessa's first matches, and whatever you want to say about Tessa, but she is a fucking diamond in the rough. I think she's doing the right thing. I think she's coming back real goddamn soon, by the way. But High Ground as well. You know, there's people that I see that will trickle up and go. So I will go to every godforsaken indie show that I can get to. There's some that I would love to work on. Don't get me wrong, covered OVW for a long time. They're an indie, but maybe I want to put it as they're a super indie, you know, same as IWC, because they have essentially a pipeline right to all organizations. When I go to those, I sit and enjoy.
Yeah.
I want to work High Ground. I would love to work Imagine, which is in Altoona, as a ring announcer, commentator, something like that. Fuck, call me for Texas. Mission Pro with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Cincinnati Wrestling, if they need me. And I'm not patting myself on the back. Listen, we play this up all the time that I should be on posters. Listen, I shouldn't. Listen, this is a fourth wall coming down right now. I shouldn't. I'm a fucking ring announcer and or commentator, whatever. But if I can get exposure out for Bob Jones or Bob Smith or Bob Sheets or whoever is out there, I want to. And that's what I want everybody to use Can Crushers for across the board. We love talking to the legends. We know the legend stories, a la Bobby Blaze, a la Manny Fernandez, Al Snow, Heidi Lee that's on all the time. We know their stories. We're just getting their like road stories. I want to know, and I'm going to throw my boys right under the bus, the Bad Fellows, Nathaniel Cunningham, Donnie Bambino, Shelby Waters, the Dude, all those people at High Ground, why they got into wrestling, market themselves, this, that, and the other. That's what the spotlights were started for. I'm blessed to be able to get people like Bobby Blaze, Gilbert, and like the legends come on and say, yeah, we'll talk with you, you schmo. But these youngsters that I'm opening up something, so for Cincinnati Wrestling, I hate to say this. Is there an organization called Cincinnati Wrestling? Or did he mean like just the Mecca of Cincinnati? Because I've been to FTC and stuff like that with, you know, Shauna Reed, and I've been out and around there. Yes. Where's my allegiance lie? If that's what we're going to get down to, bare knuckles, anybody that says it wants to work with us.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. There, since you were wrestling, I pulled it up on Facebook. They're everywhere. There's a lot of things going into that. A lot of organizations. Looks like actually, I think this is its own. Cincy Wrestling is its own organization. So there's a lot going in to it. Man, even up here and where I'm from, Pro Wrestling Rampage, right down the block.
That's this week. Yeah, that's tonight. If you're not doing anything in Erie, that's tonight.
Go there, watch it.
There's Revenge.
Revenge. Yep, exactly. So there's so many good wrestling organizations out there, but I think a lot of people just skim past them. And I've been guilty of that. And, you know, it's when do you take that love and just apply it to indie wrestling, right? And when do you take it and to apply it to all facets of wrestling? Not even indies, just all facets of wrestling. Take it from when the people in the early stages of their career to the big stage. Those early stages where they're really refining their craft in that, you really see the talent. Yeah, you'll see some people that They're great hometown wrestlers. They get that pop and that.
The Weekend Warriors, yep.
Yep. The Weekend Warriors, the ones that are busting, but you'll also get those guys that you're like, holy shit, he's got some talent and he's going to make something big of himself at some point. And big could be just super indies like you were mentioning, to NWA, to Impact, maybe up to AEW and WWE at that, if they can get that far. But support indie wrestling as much as you can if you're able to. If it makes sense, go and do it. But we love it. And yeah, if we can get Cincinnati wrestling guys up in here and give them the spotlight of Can Crushers, absolutely. Put us in contact with somebody. Let's reach out. Let's find out. Let's spread the wings and fly with it.
Yeah, and before I get hate in August, I meant the whole High Ground locker room. I know I've listed my boys and Garrel, but I mean everybody there before I get in trouble.
I also want to point out that I did know the name of High Ground Wrestling. You didn't let me get it out before.
I know.
But.
All right, back to the phone lines. Let's see who's on the line for this one.
Hey guys, this is Ned, and I was just wondering, I heard a recent interview when Hulk Hogan, and he said that he might be interested in one more match, perhaps against Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Texas Rattlesnake. I was just wondering if you guys thought that this was an actual match that could happen, or you know, if you think that Hollywood Hulk Hogan is actually able to lace on the boots one more time. So, just interested. Bye.
That was a wicked cold our caller had there.
Ned is sick.
Ned is sick. He's got something going on. I mean, also, he apparently thought it was laughable that Hulk Hogan thought he could have a match with Stone Cold. I would have to agree with that sentiment. I think Hulk Hogan needs to just keep the boots on the shelf and not come out of retirement. I don't want to see that match. Now, if this was 05, yeah, why not? Let's turn it up. 02, yeah, but not now.
We said this last year when Stone Cold had his spectacle, because we didn't call it a match then.
We did not.
We're not calling it a match now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hogan can even do a spectacle.
No.
At this time, Ned. So.
Yeah, I don't. I think Hulk Hogan's wrestling days are behind him, and hey, nothing wrong with that. Live off the nostalgia, live off the memories, but it's just hang him up. So thank you, Ned. Appreciate that call. I hope you get better. Take some Vicks for that cold. I think that'll help.
Right before you go to bed.
Yeah, just rub your chest. It should be good. You know, lather it up.
Lather it up. All right. You guys talk a lot about Fight Forever. You're fucking right, we do.
What? No way.
You wait until 2 weeks from now. Oh, touche. What will be your first match, and who will you play as? I can't wait to use Orange Cassidy with his hands in his pockets versus Starks. That would also be a great tag team, by the way. Kyle.
Oh, I gotta go.
It wouldn't be a bad tag team.
No, it wouldn't.
I already know my match.
Go for it.
It's Sammy Guevara against Adam Cole. And I'm Sammy Guevara.
Okay. All right. I'm going MJF, and I think I'm going Hangman. I might go Page on that one. It's Orange Cassidy or Page right now, but I do want to face MJF.
You saw that as soon as the bell rings, MJF fucking charges you, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did see that. So, yeah, of course. So let's go. So, MJF and either Orange Cassidy or Page, I think right now is going to be the first match.
And I say Sammy, and I'll tell you this, because I need to know buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
As much as I love Sammy, if Sammy takes a loss to Adam Cole, because the records count,
right?
I'm understanding how to play the game.
Yeah.
probably my first serious match when I'm ready to go and I feel comfortable and everything will be Britt decimating somebody. Because of course I have to get my women love, and it has to be Britt. So I don't know. Where's the title? Is the title on Rosa? Is the title going to be on Jamie? Is it going to be on Tony? Like, I have to run through this because I don't know if we know this right now. I've seen it across the board on everybody. People have held it up, this, that, and the other thing. But when the game releases, it's not, I know this for probably a fact, 99.99996. It's not going to be on Britt.
Yeah.
When I'm ready and I feel comfortable for my first essential real match, Britt will probably never lose this title on my game.
That's fair. See, I haven't thought about the title aspects of it. I'm just thinking about diving straight in and...
Well, that's why Sammy. You go Sammy Cole, the shit that's going to happen in that match.
Yeah.
Even if you fuck up, it's going to be an awesome match.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Well, that's why I was like, I'll go Paige and MJF or Orange Cassidy. If I lose as Orange Cassidy, it's like, well, it's Orange Cassidy, so it's fine. You don't know. To me, I got personal feelings of Orange Cassidy loses, fine. If he wins, great, cool, whatever. So, serious matches though. I like that. I hadn't thought about it, so I can't give one right now. But I like the Brit. I should have known the Brit one was coming for you. 100%. 100%.
Is Wardlow in it? Like, I don't know.
I thought Wardlow was in it. I know FTR is not, but I thought Wardlow was in it. Well, they're in a DLC later down the line. Yeah.
Elite package.
Yeah.
$9 million. Great question, Kyle. Good luck with that Orange Cassidy and Starks. That'll be a burner too.
That will be. I like that a lot.
If you guys could attend a big pay-per-view from the past and nothing changed, what event would you have gone to, Rick? Holy fuck. Well, cancel the rest of the show. There's so many. Listen, Rick, I can't pick one. There's so much shit that, and I'm jumping on Jenks because I said I would give them all of it, but Night of the Skywalkers is something the fucking first ever scaffold match between the Road Warriors and Midnight Express. That's unbelievable. I wish I could have gone to that. My favorite pay-per-view, to be at WrestleMania 4, I watched it on closed circuit, but to physically be there, Rick, this is a loaded question. I'm not being a complete jackass right now. I'm being a complete jackass. But just to sit at any of those. WrestleMania 3 as a kid. You know, I loved Andre. Andre is one of my favorites because my grandfather, But when he turned bad and Hogan slammed him, I was in Katanning at a church or something that my dad bust my ass down to. And again, closed circuit. Yeah. We watched it there. I didn't have a voice watching essentially closed circuit. If you don't know, kids, it got piped in and you watched it at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what closed circuit was. You paid a fucking astronomical price to go watch it somewhere on a giant-ass TV prior to pay-per-view. Then I just spit all over my computer. I'm excited right now. Anything, Rick?
Yeah. It's so loaded for mine. No. For mine, I think nostalgia plays into it, right? You want to be at WrestleMania 3s for the Hogan slamming Andre because of that spectacle moment. Like, for me, get me to WrestleMania 17 for whatever that was, what matches those were, the things about them. If I go nostalgic factor, though, I remember trading tapes as a kid. I remember getting Survivor Series 94. It's not that sexy of a pay-per-view, but goddamn, it was good. It had the submission match where Owen had his parents throw in the towel for Brett, giving Bob Backlund the title. Chuck Norris was fucking there, kicking Jeff Jarrett down the aisleway. It's not sexy, but it was something I hold on to. That Starrcade 94, or not Starrcade 94, Slamboree 94, Vader Sting for the international title, Flair Wyndham, the Nasty Boys battling, that was Havoc. So there were so many different ones. There were so many street fights and things of that nature that you just wanted to hold on to. No, that was that one, because it was the Nasty Boys and it was Kevin Sullivan and I think it was Cactus Jack, and one of them got hit by Dave Schultz. So it was a whole massacre. That was fantastic to me. It's a loaded question, but I think the nostalgia factor play into it, because I would pick pay-per-views that I saw trading tapes, but I would want to be there in person to just see play out. And I think that's the excitement of it. There's so many of them, but that was a great question.
It really was. I'm going to spin Rick's question because we're going to sit on this for a minute. What event would you not want to have gone to? Mine pops in my head instantly.
What?
Anything at Sturgis when it was that.
Oh, the Road Wild.
Yeah. Motorcycle rallies. And all they did was rev up their motorcycles the whole freaking time. They were, and I'm not knocking people that ride motorcycles, so stop. Because I know there's somebody like, I ride a fucking motorcycle, you're a douchebag. That just didn't play, it didn't come across great on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So to be there and all you hear is, let me do that while you're trying to talk.
Yeah.
We're canceled. But yeah, you know what I mean.
I'll go on the other end of the spectrum. Any live event that took place on a beach, so it's really WCW heavy right now, but like Bash on the Beach, I think it was 95. What was it? Hogan and Vader in the cage. That just didn't work. Then you had even the last Nitro of the year where it was on Panama Beach. That was last ever Nitro. Good God Almighty. It was a show. It's a historic show, but I would not want to be on a beach watching fucking wrestling. That's just not my jam. I also probably wouldn't go to any of the ECW revival stuff. Nothing from 2006 on, because it just was watered down. One Night Stand 05, 06? Yeah. But anything after that? No. God, no. I could never go to any of those.
One more, not advocate. One more part of this is I'm adding. If there's an arena, and we're going to throw Madison Square Garden out because we want to go to Madison Square Garden.
That's a mecca, yeah.
Yeah. If there's an arena that you would have loved to gone to, where?
God,
mine just slipped my mind. Mine is the not the ECW arena, but the one that had
Hammerstein.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 05. That's where my head was, because that would be magnificent. Not the Bingo Hall.
For EC. Oh, I would have loved to gone to the Bingo Hall.
Bingo
I saw it at NACA. I saw ECW, and you can find me on Peacock. Oh, by the way, SmackDown is starting. I'm at Manaka for ECW on the Peacock, so you can see me in the second row.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. It's somewhere on my timeline. But, yeah, Hammerstein, I would have loved to see an ECW event there. Not One Night Stand, just a normal ECW event there.
You know, Sportatorium jumps to my mind just because of the nostalgic factor. I think there's a lot of meccas for sports entertainment that you would want for professional wrestling that you would want to go to. But Sportatorium stands out. Things in Dallas, Sportatorium, I think was I saying that? Yeah. There's so many things, so many meccas that you could go to. I would love to go to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and that fucking thing. I think that would have been a fantastic, in its heyday, fantastic show.
My family when I was younger, we're talking 86, 87, 88, when we would drive from Pennsylvania to Florida. I always tried to get my parents to stop in Atlanta for the Omni or the tapings, CBS station or anything. And you had to have those booked legit because there's fucking 25 people in the audience. That was it. That was, you sat in a folding chair and they recorded like a month long. They weren't doing that, but I would have loved to gone to TBS Studios, whatever.
MGM Studios when they did it. Yeah.
Rick, great question. We're knocking you. There's so many.
Hey,
any of the Garden.
Impact, when they just had it in the one arena, the Impact Zone, goddamn, they had something. It was just hot and heavy that whole 5-7 years that they had it there. In that run.
All right, let's read this one. Hey guys, what is one arena you would have loved to watch an event in? Huh.
Oh, that was a good one.
Let me just skim through this. As Gene says, I would have loved to gone to Madison Square Garden. I know they still have wrestling shows once in a while there. Back in the 80s, they were so much better. There was more glitz and glamour. Well, I didn't. This just proves that I copy and paste, because I've added all these questions on to Rick, and the next fucking question from Gene was, where do you want to go? So I think we answered that.
Well, we did. Great question, Gene.
Great question, Gene and
Rick.
And Rick, yeah. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We have one more phone lines and then one more on the email. And let's go here.
Oh, wow. Hey, it's me again, Chris. I just had another question that I wanted to run by you guys. China, the 9th wonder of the world. Wow. It was great. Question. Why is she not in as a solo artist in the WWE Hall of Fame? I know that she's in as DX, but let's be real here. Very influential, perhaps most influential woman in WWE history. She should have her own fame. She should have her own spot. The history on a pedestal. Please, let me know your thoughts. If you think she deserves this honor, and if they will be bestowed upon her. Please, let us know. Wow.
So, does China belong in the Hall of Fame by herself?
I have to ask, did Chris turn into Mickey Mouse there at the end? That his voice got really high. I'm very concerned for his well-being. I don't know if he got hit somewhere where the sun don't shine and that happened or what.
Before, too.
Yeah, it must be Nostradamus, and maybe he's called one of our other Grand Crusher times. I mean, but does China deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as a solo woman? Will she ever be in the Hall of Fame as a solo woman? I don't know if they'll allow that. It's not Vince anymore, so could happen with Trips. I just don't know if that's going to be the case, if she'd ever get in there as a solo person. But I think it would ultimately be up to her family to allow it to happen.
Agreed. Completely agree with that. And I think it's one of those ones that there's no speaking role.
Yeah.
You know, there's always somebody that goes in post and they allow a family member to come up and speak or whatever. But there's always a couple that the auxiliary put in, you know, hey, don't forget we also put in these 5 people. It might be that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. Is Chris correct? She is. She damn well deserves her own spot. I completely agree with that. But it's a different time.
Different time, different things have happened. They've listed the reasons. Her being a part of DX as a whole is a way to get her in without facing some of the things that they are afraid of facing. I think she deserves her own spot. She has done enough to transcend what the women were in the company at that time. So, but will they give in and do that? To your point, it could be an auxiliary, which would be kind of in its own right not appropriate, just because we've given her the nickname of the 9th wonder in the world. They've pushed her to the moon, but we're just going to leave her as an afterthought inductee, which is just wild to me.
Agreed. Completely agreed. The tag team gauntlet match is getting set, so.
Well, I'm apparently way behind where you're at, so.
It's just starting. Like, they're just all sitting around the ring. All right.
It literally has not got through the intro package on my end.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, and I will show Jenks via the way. This is a book by the way. So be prepared. This is one quick. Can you see that on my phone?
Oh, yeah.
It's a book.
Okay.
What's up, Sir Jenks and Mark? Again, everybody fucking loves a Sir Jenks, and I just get the normal name.
Thanks, guys.
This has been a question that I have asked wrestling fans for years. Why? Now, you want to know what I mean by that. So let me tell you. I got introduced to pro wrestling by my uncle at a young age, and it was unbelievable. Still is. But why do you still love this so much? In the 70s, we didn't know what we know about the business today because of the internet ruined it. Well, more than just the internet. That's my 2 cents. But
Great.
Why do you still love wrestling after all these years? I've listened for close to a year. Oh, now he's telling us his backstory. I've listened to close to about a year. You guys predict, and you get a lot of shit right. You know the outcomes, but why do you still love it? This is not a bash. Just wanted to compare my love to yours. Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work. Ed. This is a great fucking question after I read it.
Fantastic question. Why? I almost want to say because, but I'm not.
Dude.
It comes to be, yeah, we could know the outcomes. Yeah, we could predict the outcomes. Yeah, it can be predictable. But it's the fun of it getting there. It's the fun of watching the bloodline be amazing storytelling for 2 years and then it crumble away and you feel like it's a piece of you falling away. You invest so much time in these characters and seeing them develop and seeing them grow that you just can't walk away until you see the end of their career. And when that occurs, there's somebody new that takes that spot and moves it forward. It's never been about knowing the outcomes or knowing how things are going to shake out or how anybody else feels about it. It's always been about, in the point in time when I'm watching it, how I feel. Does it captivate me? Does it capture my imagination? Does it take me to the ends of the earth? And there's been times where wrestling has been the only thing I've had that I could really just hold on to and love and watch. And there's been times where it's been a footnote, but it's a happy footnote that I love to watch and go back to and a comfort for me. So to me, it's because it's everything for me at some junctures. Now I've had things introduced in my life that are fantastic, Kimberly, but there's other things like my friendships and that I do cherish. But man, at the end of the day, wrestling is that one thing that I can go back to and it'll put a smile on my face.
I have to echo everything you said, but I'll add my own. So I'm just adding on. Mine is the nostalgia. It was, what did he say, his uncle? Did he say his uncle? Yeah. His uncle introduced him to wrestling. So there's that bond. If your uncle's still alive, whatever, you have that. This is always my grandfather. I have, that family connection.
Yeah.
I watch it because I know he's watching it up in heaven. And I'm sure you're the same way. But it's the story. Yeah, we fucking predicted, and now I'm going to spin this to Mark all of a sudden. We predicted the Saudi show, money, boom, 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 boom. We knew where we were going. We knew exactly right, besides one match. We had to differ in it. But it's the story. You remember the stories of professional wrestling. We always say on our weekly show, oh my God, did you see that Canadian story off the top rope, through the cage, through the table, da-da-da-da-da. In 6 months, we forgot that happened. But we remember that there was a story about Bob and Tim fighting over a piece of whatever, and it just encapsulates you because, and I'm going to go back to last month, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
This is our Sir Jenks, Mark, not the guy's name, Ed. this is our escape. This podcast every week is our escape. We look forward to do this because everybody has bills. This is just our time to say, this is what's going to wrap me up for, if you're watching every bit of wrestling in the world, 50 hours of the week and, whatever. You just take a pause out of your life and say, I'm okay. This is my home, air quotes, and this makes me comfortable. Other people do it with music. Other people do it with completely video games. This is just our escape. Why do you keep loving it? Because it's so fucking good. Yeah. It really is. I echoed the storylines of, listen, Jenks, when the Bloodline started, we're like, what? And we were not going to say, knowing the Bloodline started, to now, if you would have told me when the Bloodline started, this is going to be better than the Four Horsemen, I would have spit in your face and laughed at you. Now we're the ones saying, Horsemen? Question mark?
Yeah.
Because it just engulfs you. It is just there. It is love for everything that Sir Jenks said. I can't be complimented.
And I appreciate that. And nostalgia plays in it to me too, with my dad getting the tapes and all that. But my grandfather owned an antique store way back when I was a kid. And you know what he used to give me out of there? Those big rubber wrestlers that were Junkyard Dog, the J&S, GLJS, yeah. Junkyard Dog, Big John Studd, Macho Man, Jesse Ventura, all of those things. And it was always captured my imagination. And he always gave me the wrestling stuff because it was always fantastic. So the nostalgia's there. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be fun. And I wish I could find half that stuff anymore. It's buried in the attic of the house where I grew up in. But it's an escape. It's sometimes you need to get away. Like this month, I know I have a couple dates on the calendar that I'm going to be watching wrestling at night because I'm religiously every year put Mick Foley on top of a cell on my TV getting thrown off because I have to watch that match. I have to watch several events throughout the year because that is everything to me. It's a nostalgia factor, but wrestling is everything to me, and that's my safety zone. And it's hard to describe to non-wrestling people who are just looking at it like, what are they, like, I don't get it. But to me, and what I've said to my girlfriend who gets my love for it, I've explained it in this way. You love all these shows about the Real Housewives and, you love Vanderpump Rules and all of that stuff. This is just that drama, but they get to punch each other in the face and do cool-ass shit to do it, to end their problems. It's the same storylines.
People have told me for years it's a male soap opera. It sure the fuck is. With sports entertainment and athleticism. Compared to Days of Our Lives or Guiding Light or whatever.
Exactly. And I will pull up.
Aren't anymore, by the way.
Yeah, I think Days of the Lives are. And I'm going to pull up with a bowl of popcorn every fucking time and watch it. Because it's cinema to me. Yeah. That's the name of the game. It's cinema.
It really is. And the love to be involved, and I'll bring up High Ground once again, to be involved with that, listen, I'm a mark for myself as well. I really am. If you haven't noticed over fucking 7 years of this show or however long it's been now, I'm a mark for myself. So if you add all the time up that I'm in the ring and introducing people or doing interviews, or the 15 minutes out of that 3 hours that I'm doing it, I'm a complete jackass doing it. And I'm loving every minute of it. So it's performing. It's being out there. That's why we love it. That's my why.
Yeah. That beautifully said. Great fucking question.
Yeah, I agreed. Not just a great question from Ed.
Yeah.
These were great questions. Listen, Jenks, we say this every time. That's the last one we have for the day, by the way. We say this every time. I don't know how they come up with them. I really have the fucking slightest idea. But each and every time we do Ask Can Crushers, shit gets us going, and it gives us a roller coaster. You know, from Reese in the beginning wanting to know our favorite move to why.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it. And then we had fucking guests. We had Macho Man on the show today.
Fucking Macho Man. We had Chris, who apparently showed up twice.
Right.
Such great questions. You guys, the creativity, you guys knock it out of the park every single fucking time. And this is why we look forward to them all the time. Because
I mean,
we don't know what's coming.
I would love to do Ask Can Crushers every month. But there's like pay-per-views on top of pay-per-views coming now. And then like maybe July we can't do it. But
yeah,
we can squeeze in. I honestly would like to give 15, 20 minutes each and every show. If you guys want to do this each and every show, bombard the God blessed email, and then we'll just run through them. I understand that some of them are get dated because they want to know, hey, is Adam Page going to beat the shit out of MJF next week? We kind of cover that on our weekly show.
Right.
But if you're going to do questions kind of like these ones and Ed's and even, you know, I'm going to bring up Reese again just because those are the questions. We will dedicate time each and every week for this. I love this segment more than talking about, we're going to cover wrestling here in 5 minutes for about 5 minutes. It's whatever.
Yeah.
This was the meat and potatoes of the show this week.
And this is what we love. We love this meat and potatoes. It's the best part of the meal. Yeah. Every single time.
Nice Monaco. Oh. Onions on top of it, potatoes on the side. Garlic potatoes.
Good. Garlic potatoes. That's a nice little touch. I'm onions and mushrooms. Slather that up there.
Good, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. We come back. We are going to glance over the last 2 weeks of wrestling and talk about some of the cool shit that we saw and some of the cool shit that we're like, maybe that wasn't so cool.
Yeah.
This is Shalonce Royale. And if you're not listening to Can Crushers, like, what are you doing? You need to listen. You have to listen.
Whoa! It's only smoke and mirrors. It's back to Can Crushers. I had to bring back the old Cody Rhodes music to that one. Welcome back, everybody.
Why did that make your list?
Because I just thought of it literally 5 seconds ago before I came on the air.
Oh.
So that'd be why it didn't come up on it. It's underrated, too. Let's be honest. That was that era of dashing Cody Rhodes with the paper bag or the mask and all that.
Yeah.
That was early Cody Rhodes showing that he had range and showing he had talent. But
all right, I'll give it to you. Because we could go down a completely different path. But yes.
Oh.
No.
It's not Ask Can Questions. We got to talk about this past couple weeks of wrestling here.
We do. In the downfall, and I hate to say it this way, I think we can wrap up WWE rather quickly.
Yeah, because WWE was very Money in the Bank centric, or it had various storylines. Like we already mentioned KO, Sammy, and the Imperium thing going on. We've hinted around the bloodline a little bit. But where do you want to start? Where do you want to go with? How do we go off this?
Well, we're not going to get heavy into predictions because Money in the Bank is legit 2 weeks away.
No, that's fair.
I think so people got involved in Money in the Bank. And I don't want to say, give me your predictions, but who are you excited to see across the board on both of them?
I mean, I'm pulling up the list right now, but if I'm talking off the top of my head, I'm just excited in general in the men's Money in the Bank because we have a lot of guys. This is basically a passing of the torch type moment right now. There's 6 guys who haven't sniffed, let alone touched a world championship from.
Never been in Money in the Bank either, right?
Never been in Money. I don't think any of these guys have been in Money in the Bank. Maybe Damian. Maybe Ricochet might have been, but I would say like Shinsuke's only sniffed the title with AJ, and then it was poof gone.
Yep.
Right. So many guys: Santos,
That's
LA Knight. Santos, I'm excited about. LA Knight is excitement. Freaking Butch or Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him. You know Ricochet's going to fly off the wall with that. That is a solid 6 guys. You could probably make a determination of who you think is going to win that off of it. We won't get their predictions. It's coming up in a couple weeks. But then you look at the ladies. You have the 2 standard bearers. You have Becky Lynch. You have Bayley. But then you have Zoe Starks. Then you have Zelina Vega. And then you have Io Sky. So you're getting that little high impact. This has Triple H written all over it. And this is fucking beautiful. I'm just excited because we're getting 6 new individuals in each. You could play with Becky or Bayley if you want, but they're still at the forefront of the women's division to make it relevant. We got some new blood in there, and it's very exciting to see.
We're going to jump around.
Yeah.
We're going to say with Money in the Bank. I really like that Priest made it in.
Yeah.
That one, and listen, we're not doing predictions. I really like that he's in. He's a big man that hasn't sniffed anything, and it's really cool. So I'm excited about that. I'm super excited about Santos. I don't know if this is his coming out party and then more to come. Maybe not sniff or anything, but he's going to be a big player as well as others, and we'll just leave it at that. For the women, I wonder, and I'll stick and stay on the women a little bit longer, what they did in Puerto Rico in the oh my God moment that was created in Puerto Rico for Vega, I wonder, did they see that and think, maybe there's money because of that?
No.
And that could be, listen, she's a dark horse.
Yeah.
In this. But with what was there, they were like, oh, and she's just not thrown in, as I use air quotes, because like Nat, we've had people before, you can pick who's not going to win. 2 weeks out, I can't pick the men's.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can pick the women's either, because my head is going 6 different ways. If you say pick somebody that's not going to win, I don't think it's Becky's. And I'll throw that out there right now. And stick.
I would agree. That's a blatantly obvious one, I think.
Yeah. They want you to think it may be because she could lead to but yeah. But we said weeks ago, this is a perfect way for Cody to slide in, get a title shot again, maybe, but then Brock can be involved. I love what they're doing with this, with Brock not being involved whatsoever as of now. We figured maybe at least he'd say hi or something. Nothing. But Cody's not even in Money in the Bank. He's got to, we're just going to roll now.
Yeah.
He's got Dom. Who would have fucking picked it? He was going from Roman Reigns to Brock Lesnar to Dom.
I wouldn't have fucking picked that, but you know what? For some reason, I'm kind of excited about it. I like the dynamic they've been doing with Dom and Cody over the past couple of weeks. Dom getting those keep shots, I fucking hate him. The nuclear heat's always there, so the crowd hates him. It's fucking picture perfect. It's like a quick slap and then run away, hide behind your mommy, and then we're off to the O2 in London. It's perfect for him. Wow.
I won't ruin it because Jenks is minutes behind me, but we'll get there when he sees it. What I want to bring up, and this has been a question for 2 weeks, and I've saved it, and it solidified a lot this week on Raw for me. Judgment Day is done within 3 weeks. Disposed of. Because, let me give you my reasons.
Yeah.
Dom is the most fucking hated person right now in WWE, which...
Facts.
Yeah, it is fact. But if you would have told me that 6 months to a year ago, I'd be like, he's hated because he sucks. No, he's hated because he's earned it.
Yeah.
I'm eating crow. This kid fucking In-ring might be still a little but he has everything. God damn it, he has everything. He's going to be there.
I said this a couple months ago, and I know I got hate for it, but I'll say it again. He may not be there in ring-wise, but he is there as the menace Eddie Guerrero-wise back in the late 90s. He's very just scummy, downright, something about him.
Scummy Dom.
Scummy Dom. Fuck.
Much better than Babyface Dom.
Exactly.
Never should be Babyface again in his fucking life.
Completely agree.
Rhea Ripley could shit on the Pope, and she's going to be cheered.
Yep.
That needs to break up soon.
Dom could save a litter of puppies and a fucking baby, still get shit on. Still get hated, would want to be set on fire. People would set him on fire.
Priest is getting somewhat of a push, and it's not my prediction that he's going to win, but he'll have a title, and I know he's been, you've seen it now.
Swear to fucking God, if I have to eat my words in 2 weeks.
Pretty deadly won the gauntlet match, by the way. I know Priest has had U.S. titles, but they've always been like placeholders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm feeling like he's not going to be a placeholder anymore. Like I see something coming with him.
He's finally found his big man character in place. And I think he carries that, and excuse me, I'm burping. So if this comes across, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's probably this beer that I've had for over a year. I think he's gotten to a point where you started saying about breaking it up. I think he's starting to see the cracks. He's starting to see people are not, like last Monday night, he's like, I need to go out there and do this by myself. I'm doing this alone. So he's already put Judgment Day on the back burner. So Judgment Day's out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts attacking one individual within his team.
Well, and that's the next one I was going to. Finn's on an island by himself. And it's not just in Judgment Day. His character itself is lost. Mm-hmm. Like, we're doing the rehash of 7 years ago with Seth Rollins, which will always bring up cool shit. It'll be an amazing match. If Finn wins this title at Money in the Bank against Seth Rollins, Finn wins the title at Money in the Bank against Seth Rollins, I don't think it's going to mean anything. I think he is then losing a fucking day later or 45 seconds later. He is just to say, hey, you were the first Universal Champion. Yeah, now you're the second World Heavyweight Champion. I just think Finn he's amazing. What he does, he's just done. But in predictions next week, you'll understand. Not next week, in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
You'll understand.
Well, yeah, and the theories can run wild. You said 45 seconds. Could it be the reason Judgment Day breaks up? Or does he just not even make it to the ring? Because that could be the last match on the card. And maybe he gets attacked and somebody cashes in.
Right.
What a story to tell if he never gets the chance to avenge that day title reign that Seth took from him, essentially. So more to come.
More to come. We're on the same page closely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Judgment Day, by the end of Money in the Bank or the night after or whatever, listen, everybody, you still have the mommy and Dom thing, but Rhea's bigger than all of them right now and crushing them.
Yep.
So,
but she's not overshadowing them as much as she was 6 months ago.
Right.
Now we're finally getting into our own. Damian was left off Maniac, but now he's going further. Dom, we've already talked about Dom. The Finn aspect is the craziest part to me because he's, like you said, he's lost. But what does that mean for his future? Even if he wins the title, what does that translate to? And now it's been that interesting dynamic overall. He's always been lost since that undisputed title reign.
Yeah.
Or that universal title reign. So, does he truly find himself again? I don't think he does.
I don't think so.
But the dynamic's there.
A lot of hate come up in this next person I'm going to talk about.
Can't wait.
Charlotte returned. Boom, she gets a fucking title match.
Fucking bullshit.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Asking questions. Do they not know what to do with Charlotte because they just have to keep her around the title reign? Because, listen, Bayley has her own thing going on right now, essentially, with, it's going to be with EO. Come on.
Yeah.
It was going to be with EO and Dakota, but Dakota's hurt. So it's going to be with EO. And I'm going to go back. All the horsewomen have carried themselves, and this is where I'm going. Sasha has had her own shit. You know, she never had to be around titles, and she had stuff. Becky, legends she's working with.
Yeah.
Now she's possibly getting back into the title picture, and it's been a bit, whatever.
Yeah.
The new blood's carrying her. Who is Sasha? Who is Charlotte had a match with a la not title?
The last one I can think of is the one they forced upon us was Trish versus Charlotte back in, 2019 or whatever? And it didn't work.
Years.
It was 5 years.
Yeah, we're right. But yeah.
And to that point, Charlotte's kind of just jumped around and got placed with the title here and there and goes away, comes back, gets a title reign. It goes back to what we've always thought was going to happen. It's happening. He's going to be a 16-time champion, just to say the Flair lineage carries on. And I'm not sure I like that it's Asuka that plays the victim multiple times. Multiple times. She's the victim of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, if Charlotte were to just have a match with anyone, hell, even Ripley, find a way to Raw to face Ripley again, okay, I'll take it. I'll take part 2, because right now that's leading match of the year for me. I'll fully say it. So I'll take match 2 at SummerSlam. But we're just going to pick Asuka. I get she's drafted to SmackDown, but Asuka gets picked on. They're also protecting Belair now. It seems like they're protecting Belair from whatever the Charlotte thing was or is. So maybe Bianca's the one that's going to take it off of her at some point, but here we are again, back to square zero and counting down the clock to number 15 because Charlotte came back.
Yep.
So
it's too forced. It's way
too forced.
Before we get to the bloodline, I have one more. And then if you want to add any before we get to the bloodline, because we're going there. The male models are done. Gone. Getting repackaged. I posted it earlier this week. See you later. I am so disappointed in this. People wanted, I really think people wanted to see Otis
as a male model.
And now you get nothing against Maxine, nothing against her. We're going to get essentially the Alpha Squad or fucking whatever, the Alpha Academy against Valhalla or the Vikings or whatever the hell they're called right now in a trios match or whatever of some sort.
Yeah.
Good that Maxine's now becoming a wrestler and da-da-da-da-da. Good. Cool. Not knocking that, but why did this get scrapped so fast?
I don't understand it because I think this was perfect. Otis, there was going to be a perfect comedy character for Otis. We were finally going to get what we wanted in Chad Gable having a singles run and maybe having a shot at an Intercontinental title, let alone maybe Money in the Bank at some point. But they ripped it away from us. It was like it was too good to be true, so they decided, no, you guys can't have that. So now we have Maxine sitting in a singlet throwing people around with the arm drags, you know. And you know what? I popped. I love the segments. Don't get me wrong. Her throwing people around, throwing Chad Gable around, fantastic. And Valhalla and that. But, man, I really just wanted to see how this Otis thing was going to play out in the male models. Even if it was a stupid comedy gimmick for 3 months. That's what made the Mandy Rose Otis stuff magical. It was stupid. It didn't make any sense. I know I wouldn't get anybody nearly as good looking as Mandy Rose except for my wonderful girlfriend Kimberly, but I got lucky in that regard.
Good cover up.
It's not a good cover up. That's an honest truth. Okay. But anyways, it's one of those things where it was a perfect dynamic. It's a comical dynamic that people want to see, and you can run with it somehow, some way, some shape and form. It would have been cool to see it as a male model thing, because we knew Otis was going to be hilarious in that role. But, yeah.
He's better a comic.
Yes.
A comedy, yeah. Do you have anything before we jump on the Bloodline? Because we're going there.
We might as well just go there. Let's get that Bloodline.
It's carrying everything once again. It really
as it should.
Is. As it should. I agree. I love everything about it. Jay was going to have a U.S. title match and accidentally kicked in the face by his brother. Now, last night we found out if he's with his brother or and we're waiting. As we're watching, we're waiting to find out. And you know it's going to be the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, what we think SummerSlam is, or no, actually, Money in the Bank, it's going to be...
It's got to be Jimmy versus Roman at this point. Yeah. Yeah, I would think, and I think Jay would face Roman at SummerSlam. I don't think he's turning his back on his brother. Now, maybe it's a tag team. You got to add Solo to the mix. What's Solo doing at that point? I don't think Jay's ending title reigns here, but there's so much layers upon layers upon layers, and then the fact that what happened 6 months with Sami Zayn is now coming back to the forefront and saying, Sami was right. And we knew it, but Jay and Jimmy didn't know it, and now they're finding it out very quickly what's what and how things get run here. So...
But it throws in Paul as well, because Jay says, hey, if I win, meaning last week, if I win and I'm part of the Bloodline, you are not.
So now
that there's a bigger crack, probably Paul Heyman.
Yeah, and now Paul is going to start scheming. Paul is very much now, how do I protect myself in this scenario from Jay, from being cast aside, everything among those things. So how do I make that happen? So it's going to be very interesting to see Paul Heyman start scheming for the next 6 weeks or so to kind of turn Roman against Jimmy. Well, he's already against Jimmy, but against Jay as well.
Yeah. It's got months left. It's
got the fuel. It's got the fuel for Survivor Series, WrestleMania. It's got the fuel. Now let's light it and see where it goes.
All right, let's transition over to AEW and Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Oh my God! It's on Match of the Year candidate.
At 30 minutes of.
Did you expect that?
No, I was expecting someone to win. Hook up by crook, MJF, or Adam Cole figuring out so we get a second match. It wasn't the 30-minute time lapse. And then I heard the announcement, and I'm like, are they gonna fucking do a 20-minute draw? I didn't realize it was 30-minute. I didn't hear 30-minute time limit. And then I didn't hear it again. So then you forget. And
it
then
was
all
the fastest 30 minutes in wrestling, by the way.
Oh,
I didn't time it. I don't know if it was real 30 minutes or whatever, but it had to be. It was on national TV.
Agreed. It had to be at least close to 30 minutes. And by God in heaven, if they hit it on... Listen, there's probably a few seconds difference here. But if they hit it right on the head with that count, with the 2 count and the bell ringing, chef's kiss. But even if it was within a couple seconds of each other, my God in heaven, the disappointment, the anger, the frustration, I'm like, I literally yelled no.
I did.
I was, fuck. Are you serious right now? He did it. He outsmarted him. We're gonna get this again, but now it's on hiatus because MJF, even though he said no, has to defend against Tanahashi, which
right.
Whew, okay, let's do this now. But
do you think, because we have back-to-back pay-per-views, all in, all out, or fucking a week apart?
Yeah.
I ask you this, as we're asking many questions this week. Do you throw Adam Cole and MJF at Wembley because 9 million seats are already sold? Or do you save it for All Out when we don't know anything yet? I'm sure tickets have been sold for Vegas and everything like that, but we don't know how many because that's not been privy to us. Does that sell? Or what do we don't know, because Forbidden Door is going to take everything next week.
Yeah.
And then the stories will come for All In. Are you going to give this away at All In that you already have legitimately about 70,000 tickets sold? Do you give it away now that they've already fucking bought? Or do you say, no, this has to be for the following week when I need to sell the tickets?
I think the temptation's there to give it to them. But I feel like I think it depends on what happens with Punk. Because it's Chicago. We're in Chicago at this point. So is Punk and FTR facing the Elite and getting that whole thing tied off in Chicago, which we think is the low-hanging fruit that if you don't go for, you're stupid at that point? Or are they going to run back MJF and Punk because that's what we were supposed to get at Full Gear? I think that's where the line is what do they want to do here? In my opinion, you run Cole and MJF in Chicago because I think you have enough specialty matches to go to Wembley with. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take some sort of titles or they give us Elite, Punk, and FTR at Wembley, something along those lines. What's your big? Give us the spectacles. But I don't know because I don't know if MJF Cole is what's going to get you the tickets right now.
I don't know.
Right. So I think they have to play. If you don't have Chicago sold out by now, what are you doing? I mean, they were smart. They got Punk back in line before they hit Chicago. But now it's what are you doing? How do we get back? Punk's selling your tickets for Chicago and selling them for All In
himself.
That's it. That's done. It's over with. So do you put? I guess it comes down to do you put it on the same card or are you going to book MJF Punk? How do you want to play this out? I think it's smart to play it in Chicago, but that's just me because that's your normal pay-per-view. Because I think Wembley is more of a spectacle type event than it is that.
And I wouldn't be surprised, and there's rumblings out there of Goldberg or others.
Yeah.
If something like a spectacle like that isn't announced for Wembley to get it to 80, 90,000 or whatever hell, that, I don't think you're going to get anything more from AEW.
Right.
Like, holy shit, I'm going to go out and buy a ticket and go to fucking Passport, and I'm going to head over from Ridgeway to Wembley now. Now it's somebody. And I don't know who. I don't. Goldberg is being lingered around. I don't know if that would do anything for people in America. Maybe it would do something for people in Wembley to say, holy shit, Goldberg has switched fucking gears and he's going to AEW.
Yeah.
There's others out there. But it's all speculation.
Right. I think you're right. There's going to be that. I don't know if it's the big name to get those additional tickets sold or if it's just the big name to just have the big name because you're having the big venue, right?
Right.
Because let's be honest, this is the first time they're trying to sell out a 80,000 seat stadium and they're doing a hell of a job on it. no matter what some pundits or former heads in the business are talking about, AEW's doing a great job. They've already sold 60, 70,000 tickets, so
that's good.
The audience is there. They want it. They know what they want in their product. And to that point, does AEW need to get cute? Or do they just give them...
That's the thing. I don't think they need to drag in Goldberg. And we're using that one because that was legit brought up earlier this week.
I think if Hayter's well enough off and she's in good shape and she's healed up, Hayter versus Saraya, even if it's not the main event, it's one of your sub-main events, that's drawing crowds. People want to see that because they two Brits going at it head-to-head. Everybody wants that.
With Britt playing something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go whatever your main event ends up being, MJF has to defend. This is going to be the perfect opportunity to really piss MJF off because he'll have to defend his title 2 weeks in a row in London, and then he has to defend it against Cole in fucking Chicago. And then if he wins that, then he'll never shut up about it. But if he loses that, he has something to bitch about for 8 months. Right. So it's perfect opportunity there. Chef's kiss. Let's see what it is. We'll have to see how it all plays out.
Did you see, and I know we're not talking about the match between Cole and MJF because it was a banger. Go watch it. We cannot do due diligence.
If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. Just everybody involved.
MJF's elbow pad said Vince was right.
I did see that.
What the fuck?
It was perfect because the shot again at Adam Cole. And it was basically saying you're nothing more than a glorified Keith Lee manager. That's all it was. He was nothing special.
I loved it.
I loved it too.
You get the CM Punk package that says, hey, I'm just here to beat some ass essentially. I got a lot to do, shit to take care of, and I'm coming. I liked it, and clearly it was made to be this way, that it happened right after the MJF match.
Yeah. So, what if Punk just shows up in a devil mask at some point? Just like...
That would be awesome.
Forbidden Door, he just walks through Forbidden Door after the MJF Tanahashi match. Just like,
hello? Hi. Yeah.
Hi, asshole. I'm here.
It's me.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Wrap it back around. Are you excited to see Sammy and Jericho against Sting and Darby when, listen, I'll ruin this, when Sammy turns?
Yeah, no. I'm just happy Sammy's finally going to do it. Finally pull that trigger and get away from Jericho. Also, I wasn't excited, surprised, but wasn't excited that Jericho and Sting, this was their first standoff in the ring, whatever.
Yeah, really?
How did that not happen? At least one match in WCW for Sting to get a developmental win. Let's be honest, because they treated Jericho like shit back then. So how did Sting not get a win over Jericho just to get a win over Jericho?
Are you excited to see it? Because that's going to happen at All In.
With Sting versus Jericho?
I would imagine.
Probably no. Because that's just not... 10 years ago? Maybe, because Sting was still kind of going. Yeah, he's still going. Jericho was still in his prime. That would have been a good match, but not now.
No. They need Sammy and Darby to carry this match.
Oh, and they definitely will be carrying this match.
Sonata has an open challenge that is answered by Jungle Boy later on in the night.
I was wondering who was going to answer the Sonata challenge, and I was surprised it was Jungle Boy because I was like, oh, they're deep into Jungle Hook, so why would they give him an IWGP title shot? But hey, you know what? More power to him, I guess.
We have predictions next week.
We have predictions next week, but I think you already know where we're going with that one. But yeah.
Yeah, listen, there are going to be banger matches. I'm going to ruin most of my predictions right now. A lot's not going to happen. A lot's going to happen, but a lot's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. Yeah. I think what you think of Forbidden Door as, and I'll throw this out there in generic terms, a lot's not going to happen, but you're going to have storyline things that are happening. Right. So things will fall into place here at Forbidden Door, but there's not going to, it's more of an exhibition.
Not with anybody in New Japan.
No, God, no. If it is, Surprise.
Yeah. The 8-man match, all I have to say is Brian Cage was a Road Warrior bought from Wish. What the fuck? This poor bastard.
I was confused, but I thought my takeaway was, oh, he's paying tribute to Sting, but to me, why would you dress as your opponent to pay tribute to Sting? Why would you dress as your opponent to pay tribute to him? It wasn't to fight him. It wasn't to intimidate him. This was to pay tribute to him. Great sentiment. Wrong delivery, man. It's not, no.
And I didn't care whatsoever about this match. I really didn't. You get that hint. We've hinted several times about this, about the guns in the Bullet Club, and that you get all that. Another match that I don't care to see, the guns against the Hardys. Wolf.
Because we know why. The Hardys are just not there anymore. Their Hardys aren't the Hardys. So it's going to be a rough one next week.
Wardlow gets a win over Hager. The biggest thing, the Glock and Brock.
Glock and Brock connection.
But afterwards, we're getting what we wanted.
I was going to say, we're getting Luchasaurus Wardlow. Is that Saturday or is that next week or in 2 weeks? It's Saturday, right?
I don't know.
I think it's Saturday. It's at Collision, so it's tonight, guys. So
Orange and Sabata versus Sabre and Garcia next week.
All for us to get Sabre versus Orange in 2 weeks at Forbidden Door? Yeah.
He brought him up before.
He did. I'm intrigued by the match. I won't lie.
I am a little bit. It's a show. Listen, it's a showcase match.
It is a showcase match. Get people more familiar. And then we're going to get Orange and Orange and Sabre, which I didn't think this was happening. So I got to go back.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know I'm minutes behind. I'm also trying to figure out, Shotzi's wearing a bald ear goal get up going on here.
So what the fucking?
Yeah, I figured. But anyways, so I thought we were going to get Sabre Danielson. I'm going to be honest here before we got Danielson and Okada. But I'm not disappointed whatsoever that we're not getting that match because they were just chirping back and forth at each other. We were supposed to get last year. I thought we were going to revisit it. I'm intrigued because I want to know how this Orange Cassidy Sabre match is going to go.
Yep.
It's like, I know Orange Cassidy can do it, but I need to see it to believe it because it was the same thing with Ospreay and Cassidy, and that was Match of the Year candidate last year. So where is the line? I have to see it to believe it, and again, I'm going to get my mind blown by Orange Cassidy, and I'm here for it.
This is what I probably want from Orange Cassidy because he's been, to me, lackluster.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what I was thoroughly impressed with. Maybe not the shenanigans. Man, Sky Blue has been somebody that has just continued to grow. She lost the match. All right, she lost the match. She won the match, though. She got the 3 count. It wasn't a 3 count. But holy fuck, has she really climbed in the last couple months?
Yeah.
Like, this is a champion in the making.
I was thinking about this. To me, she's one of the 4 pillars for the women right now. She's one of those younger talents. They built up. She's improved week after week after week. She's in line to be the major player in the women's division going forward. Once we move, I'm going to put Britt here. Britt's going to go to the wayside. We're going to shift it. Yeah. There's a legendary status, but now Sky Blue's one of these females that has come out and said she's one of the future. So, again, hitting on all cylinders, but what the fuck is she wearing? I don't know if that's what you or what the fucking, but this looks like the dating game. She can barely walk.
Yeah.
Charlotte
Talk about Charlotte Flair, by the way, folks.
You guys have watched this, but Jesus Christ, it's like the dating game on heels, and she can barely walk. So, anyways, Sky Blue, great great showing. I was surprised by the shenanigan of spray painting your mom in the face.
I loved it.
I like that little play in a little bit there. So that was pretty nice. But
and then we get to, because we've talked about Jungle Hook. All right, we get to the Elite against BCC, in which, listen, the shooting star on the apron. Holy Christ! Will you stop trying to commit suicide on national TV?
Gotta top each other, man. You gotta take the risk.
Unfucking believable.
They are giving the new definition to the high flying risk because they're trying to kill each other. Now they do it. Or in Darby's case, trying to paralyze himself when he does the damn coughing job on the apron. Like, they were risking. This is high risk maneuvers.
Yeah, it's on lunacy.
Yeah, it's beyond lunacy at this point. Like, Mox bleeding every 5 seconds is lunacy, is a lunatic in the making. But this is just beyond lunacy. This is absolute insane asylum crap. Like, how much do you not
want to wrestle in 5 years?
Yeah. Are you just want to retire sooner? So you're just taking a risk or what? I don't know. It was fun.
You get the pops. It's cool.
Got pops, yeah.
We're talking about this as
old people.
Old men.
We got that, yeah.
Yeah.
If we tried this, we would hurt ourselves seriously, damage ourselves. But guys, I want you around for a lot longer than this. I don't know.
Every once in a while, okay, but we need to settle down a little bit.
Don't do it, right?
The Elite wins, which shocked me, honestly.
Yeah.
But it led to everything afterwards. So the match with the Elite winning didn't matter. Because it was Eddie coming out, and then Takeshita coming out, and then Kenny coming out, and then holy fucking Ospreay taking Kenny's head off sideways.
Oh, that looked ugly.
It did.
That kick. I was like, oh God. Why would you? That was such an ugly kick.
It just didn't look
so
like
good.
The positioning was off.
It was just off, yeah. But Kenny felt that in the morning. That's for goddamn sure.
But it's got me excited. Because, listen, I am one for these, like, Forbidden Doors, or if you go back in the 80s when it was AWA against WCW, or NWA, or WWE, when they had these split promotion type of pay-per-views, they're very predictable. As one of our people, I believe it was Ed, said, that we know kind of what's going to happen, but we're there for the spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for Forbidden Door now. It's not one of my favorite pay-per-views. It isn't, because it's not because I don't know a lot about New Japan or anything like that. We know enough, but you know enough that here's my overall prediction for next week. Titles aren't changing hands. That's it. You're not going to get Orange losing it to whatever. Those are big shocks.
Yeah. What you're getting out of this pay-per-view is dream matches that people want to watch, and I'm all here for.
Yeah, I am.
They don't even need to put the titles on the line. Just fucking give me the dream match.
And they should announce them that way, actually.
Yeah. Just say you have Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Sonata. Done.
Good. I want to see it.
All in. MJF versus Tanahashi. Sold. Get me there. They just have to name the matches, and people will line up for blocks upon blocks for it. Because if you name the title in the match, you kind of know the outcome at that point. Like, Jack Perry is not becoming the IWGP champion. Spoilers. There's no way. So, I don't know. But
it was a good show. Not your go-home show yet, so we'll see what happens next Wednesday, and we'll talk about it beforehand. But it was a good go-home show. It wasn't a go-home show.
It wasn't, but it got everybody hyped. So next week, I can't wait till Okada comes out, because I was hoping Okada was just going to show up behind Danielson when he was standing at the top of the stage. and just not even hit him, just show up. But I have one more thing on Dynamite, but I don't know if you got anything to cover.
I'm done. No.
I got to go back to the silliness that needs to happen here. I myself was very happy to see the hilarious taglines come back for Adam Page.
Yes.
If you didn't see it, if you don't know, you know, but formerly known by the sexually suggestive and anatomically misleading team name, Hung Bucks. I cackled. I needed it back. It was long overdue. I just had to I'd do a quick shout out for that. Warmed my heart because, man, I was missing those Adam Page things for a long time. So thank God if it was only for 1 week, that's fine. But at least it was back for 1 week.
It was back for 1 week.
Yeah.
All right, I saved one more. Screw it.
All right.
Ready?
Do it.
This is Batman. And I was wondering, Roman Reigns, who's gonna be the guy that takes him down? Because right now, he seems unstoppable. Nobody believes that he can be defeated. Just like how nobody thought Bane could be defeated. But I did. So now, who's gonna dig down deep? Who is gonna grab the bull by the horn and defeat Roman Reigns? It's here again.
So Batman called in and wants to know who's going to beat Roman Reigns to end the show.
You know, I'm very honored Batman decided to spend his time not fighting crime in Gotham, but call in and listen to the Can Crushers podcast. I think that's up in the air still. The heart says Cody Rhodes next year, but, you know, I don't know if that's accurate because I don't know how we're going to get there. And I'm not even going to try to do a Batman impression, so I'm just going to default to you, let you have this.
I think it has to be Cody at some point. I mean, the bloodline is going to dissipate and people are going to head about their own ways. Maybe Roman has, I don't know, one or two in between before we get to, because Roman's got to defend at Rumble.
Yes. Rumble, Survivor Series, Saudi again. He's got multiple title reigns coming up here, and it can't be all against Jimmy or Jay.
So there are going to be one-offs coming up for, you know, whatever. And who knows which ones Roman is going to show up at, because, listen, Roman's going to be working like 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
September 2nd, which is opening day for NCAA football.
Oh, is it?
Pitt is taking on Wolford at 3:30.
Oh, Wolford.
But no. But Payback is in Pittsburgh that night.
It is.
No way in fuck Roman Reigns is going to be there. Telling you that right now.
I believe that wholeheartedly. Although it's a month after SummerSlam.
That would mean 4 pay-per-views in a row then. That is going to work. A lot of TV time. I know he's now coming back. So yesterday was his first time in a while. Are we going to see him? We're going to see him a lot before SummerSlam. Right? SummerSlam is a big one.
You would think. Maybe.
He's got to get time off in his contract. I'm not saying he's got to, but I don't see Roman going to Payback.
But to that point, though, creative's kind of good for it, and you're kind of loving what you're doing.
Right.
You get the time off. I mean, let's be honest here. Roman made that contract when there was other people involved in charge of creative. When Hunter took back over, to an extent, it's been around more. He's been more willing to do stuff. So he might be willing to hang around and do more and more, maybe get a couple weeks off, then build up for a week and a half. Huh?
Brock one more time because that's Heyman's henchman.
Yeah, it's Heyman's henchman. I think that could come back. That I think that comes back somehow, but oh man.
Back. Batman, we both say Cody Rhodes.
I want to do the Batman impression, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to ruin Batman. I'm not going to make fun of you in this regard. Thank you for your question. I appreciate it. Stay out of dark alleys with your parents.
That's all I got for the week. I'm actually exhausted. Like, it took a lot out of me. This whole show was unfucking believable.
There was a lot of great questions that opened up the mind, and I think it just kind of drains you a little bit, trying to think deeply, but a lot of great questions. Well, 6 beers, 2 beers, whatever it is, but God, great questions. It was a great show.
What do you got going on this week quickly?
This week, birthday party tomorrow for one of the nieces, and then I got Collision on Saturday night, and I'm checking out Sunday because I'm just not doing a fucking thing. I've been pushed to the max, so I'm going to kind of hang out Sunday and the week ahead. Nothing going on, big. What about you?
Graduation party as of today. Collision then later on tonight. Sunday, record a couple Pardon the Paranormals with the man, the myth, the legend, Jason Tyler. So if you don't listen to that podcast and you like spooky shit, check that out. I think one game this week, which is fan-fucking-tastic. And then nothing.
Nice.
So I'm kind of excited for the we're getting along, we can tell. I'm excited for the nothing for the end of next week. You know what I do need to do?
What?
Because I didn't want to, not that I'm a lawn and garden guy, but I didn't want to burn the grass since we didn't have any rain. But I didn't cut it with the fucking monsoon. I should have cut it the day before the monsoon that we have. And now I have a jungle outside. So at some point, when it's done raining in this neck of the woods, I need to cut the grass.
That's fair.
Other than that, I'm waiting for the 30th, dude.
Time.
I don't want to fast forward life, but
it needs to get here.
It needs to get here.
I get that.
So
I'm same boat.
I hope everybody had a great time at Taylor Swift last night and tonight. If you're going, drive safe. All that. If you're listening to Taylor Swift's concert, that's awesome.
No bad blood.
I have not heard anything since 20 minutes prior to, so he is going apeshit crazy, I'm sure. Tears in his face, redness. I can't wait to get a picture during editing.
If he took a guitar, tears on his guitar at that point, it's just the way it goes. I mean, as long as he's enjoying himself, you're welcome.
He's probably enchanted right now.
He's very well enchanted at this point.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's a garbage can, not a garbage can not. And you make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.